Okay.
All right, I am live. What is going on, guys? Yes, live stream tonight. It is a big live stream going down right now. I'm Ryan O'Toole. You guys know who I am. Sorry we're late. We all had shawarma before this live stream. But I'm just kidding, guys. Welcome. Welcome to the MCU live stream leading up to Infinity War. We got so much shit to talk about, and I got some guests along with me. You know who they are if you check my social media. I'm going to introduce all three of them. First, I'm going to introduce my good buddy, Amari Points. Amari, what's up, man?
Not much, man. It's good to be here. Hey, everyone. Hey, my fellow listeners. So good to see everyone here.
All right. All right, and our next guest we have here is Mr. Tyler Calvert. What's up, Tyler?
How's it going, everybody in the YouTube world, and everybody included? I'm really excited to talk about Infinity War and, well, the first 10 years of MCU and everything else after that.
And finally, we got someone you may not know. His name is Cody O'Toole.
Cody. Who's that guy?
Who's that dude?
What's up, guys? I'm the guy behind the camera most of the time. No, but I'm excited to be here. Just going to be monitoring the chat and hanging out and talking MCU, I guess.
All right, and we got some people already here. What is up, Technodrone? What is up, Julie Madden? What is up, Mr. Cody Leach? Naked Black Widow better not die in Infinity War.
We all crossing our fingers. We hope she don't die.
And then we also got Sammy in the building. What's up, Sammy?
Hey, Sammy.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we're all excited. We all say hello, hello, hello. Let's see. John Foley's also here. What's up, John? Douglas is also here. Douglas Beamer and Devin Pilgrim. What's going on, guys? Thanks all for tuning in.
Hey, Devin.
I'm impressed. I thought it was just going to be all of us just talking to ourselves the whole time.
Yeah, at first. Yeah, at first.
Good to know that there's actually other people. There's actually
more
other
people are
around.
coming in. Danny Productions and Webbed Ermin 728. What's up, guys?
Hi, Danny.
Whoop, whoop.
Welcome everybody for coming on in.
The team is assembling.
If you guys haven't watched any of my videos before, we always wait till the 5-minute mark before a good amount of people tune on in. So, Doug Beamer wouldn't be the worst case scenario.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't on time anyways, so so I don't know what 5 minutes we started at. So I don't know what the countdown time is now, but we did start late, so who cares?
We were like 3 minutes late, so they're gonna come in 3 minutes late.
Yeah, exactly.
Dawson's Universe is also here. What's up, Dawson?
Hello,
Dawson's Creek.
Dawson. But anyway, guys, you guys in the chat, what's going on? How's your days been? Mari, how's your day been, buddy?
It's been good. I can't complain. Just been chilling all day. Just been chilling all day. Excited for this collaboration.
You've been preparing yourself all day for this.
Yes. I even watched all the movies.
The greatest moment of your entire life is right now.
The best moment is right now.
This is something for everyone to remember.
The culmination of everything.
This is something everyone will remember 10 years from now.
Yeah. Technodrone, 2 weeks more. I cannot wait. Yes! 2 more weeks.
Yes.
Feels like forever.
2 more weeks.
Then we got to wait a whole other year for Avengers 4, whatever it's going to be called.
I've actually been hearing it called Secret Invasion.
Well, I mean, it could be Secret Wars or Secret Invasion. They could just ruin everything that they established by making it Secret Invasion, and then they could just say half the people are Skrulls.
This is interesting. What Devin says. Devin predicts Thanos will die in Avengers 4.
What are they going to pull? What are they going to pull?
Target.
It's going to be like Snoke in The Last Jedi.
Yeah. we didn't know Snoke's backstory.
I think people would like flip tables and riot if they waited like, let's see, 2012. So it's been 6 years. 6 years, all this culmination of Thanos since the end of Avengers, and then he just dies in the first movie. He actually is finally in.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's see. We got some more people tuning in. Rich Reviews. What's up, Rich? My good buddy, Rich. And also we got Movie Talk in here. What's up, Movie Talk?
So many people.
It's James Skinner, I believe. What's up,
that's
James?
Ryan took my job.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't you supposed to be monitoring?
Okay, yeah, Cody.
Thank you. Yeah, Douglas is saying it's so surreal. 2 more weeks. I feel I'll be so excited that I'll black out and won't remember it and have to watch it all over again. Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah. Go ahead, Ryan.
yeah. Wait, what was he saying? 2 more weeks. Yeah, it feels like forever that we've been waiting for this movie, and the more and more it's getting here, the slower it's getting here.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Pretty much, sadly.
Yeah.
Yes.
We getting close to that 5-minute mark?
Let's see here.
On the bright side, we don't have to wait too much longer for another MCU film since Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out in, July?
Very soon.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that movie.
Well, I had mixed feelings about Ant-Man in general. but I mean, I feel like it's just going to be completely glossed over just because of the Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long is it? Where does the time mark say? It doesn't say a time mark.
It doesn't, but I'm pretty sure we've been on for like 5 minutes now, I'd say.
All right.
Probably.
Who else is in the chat, Cody?
We got Gabe Dunham in here, and who's pumped for Super Troopers 2? Yeah, I mean...
I don't know. Super Troopers 2, huh?
No. Why?
I'm avoiding that movie.
It's the only release coming out next week that I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like I actually haven't announced it yet, but I was like, I'm taking a break next week because there's 2 screenings I got invited to is Super Troopers 2 and the new Amy Schumer film, and it's like I choose to do nothing.
I'm just gonna sit at home. No, thank you.
I will take the 0 views that week.
And what a great transition to talk about the MCU.
Well, that's the thing. That movie's, Amy Schumer's gonna get destroyed at the box office by Infinity War. So.
All right, yeah, I think we're well over the 5-minute mark now. We're just gonna get right into it, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the MCU live stream. And real quickly, how this live stream is gonna go? We're gonna talk about a lot of things, everything MCU. We want you guys in the chat to talk along with us. And what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be looking at the past MCU films, all 18 of the previous films. We're going to give our thoughts on it, me, Amari, and Tyler. And once we're done with that portion, we're going to take a break through each movie so Cody can address the chat box. So if you're commenting in the chat and we're not responding to you, we're just waiting until we talk about the movie, and then Cody will address the chat in between. And then we're going to talk about future MCU movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man Homecoming 2, Guardians 3, all those future MCU movies. We'll give our thoughts on those. And then we will talk everything Infinity War. We'll talk about the trailers. We'll talk about the posters. We'll talk about prediction questions. We'll answer questions like Hawkeye, how much we think Infinity War is going to make opening week, deaths, who we think is going to die, all that fun stuff, guys. So stay tuned for that if you are anticipating our thoughts on this. So
I don't think they're ready for all this.
We have to. You guys have to type ready if you're ready.
Oh my God. Who's gonna type ready?
Whoever the first one to type ready is.
Yeah, go them.
We just need one. Come on, just one.
Cody, someone's here to start the live stream. Who's here?
Matthew V. Haynes is here.
Oh, boy. Matthew
snap.
V. Haynes is here. What's up, Matthew?
So many people, I have very little idea who they are.
Yeah. So we have a couple people saying, I can't handle this. Some people aren't ready. Oh, we got Rich Review and Matthew and Devin saying ready. I think we're ready to go.
Ready? Yeah. All right. Everyone's ready to go.
Let's go.
All right.
Woo-hoo.
So let's talk about the previous movies. So it's the 10th year anniversary of the MCU, and there's a lot of movies that these guys have made. And we're just excited to give you our thoughts on them. But so starting off the MCU, you all know what started it off. Iron Man. I got it right here. Iron Man came out in 2008, directed by Jon Favreau, Robert Downey Jr., and this seems to be a huge favorite MCU movie for a lot of people. So,
Oh yeah.
since this is my channel, since Amari and Tyler are the guests, I'm going to have them go first. They'll give your thoughts, and then I'll go at the end. So, Amari, I will start with you, man. Amari, tell us your thoughts on Iron Man.
Well, my thoughts on Iron Man, I actually watched this a few weeks. I actually loved it. It was my first time watching it in a long time, since 2008. When I was a kid in middle school, I saw this, and it was a good way to like kick off the MCU. It was a every superhero film. And also, I think, well, I also that Robert Downey Jr. is perfect as Iron Man. No one else can play. No one else can literally play Tony Stark like
Except The Rock.
yeah.
The Rock can play anything he wants.
Oh yeah.
That goes in yeah. We can see how that goes in the near future.
Tyler, what are your thoughts on Iron Man?
Well, ironically enough, I literally just gave my thoughts on this movie over on Adam from Almost Sideways' channel. Shameless plug. I know. Sorry. like I literally last week just did a collab with him over on his channel, guest review, talking about it. But I guess to give a quick brief summary, I mean, it was a great jumping off point. I mean, it's the one that started it all off. It has failed. Who knows what superhero movies would be like today? Robert Downey Jr., perfect in the role of Iron Man. Loved him in every Iron Man to some degree, even if the ones that aren't as good, but still great. I mean, even the villain, even though it's a very lackluster, underrated kind of villain, I mean, I still didn't mind Obadiah Stane just because Jeff Bridges did pretty well. I mean, we kind of forget about War Machine, in that movie since it's played by a completely different actor, but I still thought it was a really great movie overall. It still probably holds up as one of the top MCU films even after 19 now with Infinity War coming out.
Yes, that is correct.
Nice. At least I got my numbers right.
Yeah, I agree with everyone. Yeah, Iron Man's one of my top 5 favorite MCU films. I mean, what that movie did for the MCU in particular, if it failed, where would the MCU be at today? I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, absolutely. Just how different that movie was compared to past comic book movies, just doing something completely different and taking a character that's just not that well known back then and just making it into one of the most iconic Marvel heroes to date. And yeah, Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane was my only problem with the film. I don't love that villain as much, but Jeff Bridges, he does a great job in the role. And Gwyneth Paltrow, Terrence Howard, we now have a different roadie. But
that's what I'm saying, Terrence Howard.
yeah, Terrence Howard was poorly mistreated. But Jon Favreau nailed Iron Man.
I think he actually ended up making a bunch more than Robert Downey Jr. in the first film, actually. I think that's part of why the salary disputes, why he left, because it's, why would he get more? Because it's Robert Downey Jr. That's Iron Man.
Pretty true.
That
I
is
like him, though. I like
so
Terrence
true.
Howard, but he doesn't need to make as much as Robert Downey Jr.
Hell no, absolutely not.
Meanwhile, Robert Downey Jr. makes like 50 million a movie, so
He's definitely fine.
yeah, exactly.
Yes,
he's been there the longest. He has seniority.
Yeah. So yes, Iron Man is definitely a fantastic movie indeed. And Cody, what do we have going on in the chat right now?
And I just want to quickly add about Iron Man. I watched it for the first time on Monday this week. And
really?
I loved it. Me not being a comic book movie fan in general, I wanted to watch all of these before Infinity War, of course. I know, call me crazy.
Wow.
I'm watching the movies. Got to give me credit for that. I'm watching
the movies. You got a long way to go.
I do have a long way to go. I'm gonna binge all the way through them, but I loved Iron Man. It's a hilarious movie. Great start to the MCU. But let's get to the chat here. We have Movie Talk saying this movie's overrated.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rich Review says, what would it be like if Tom Cruise was Tony Stark?
Tom Cruise? Yeah, a lot of running through the...
He wouldn't be flying around anywhere. He'd just be running.
We have John Foley. We have John Foley saying he remembers seeing Iron Man in the theaters to this day. It's one of the best MCU movies, says Devin. Let's see here. Samuel One World, Iron Man is his number 6 best MCU film. It's an excellent start. Also one of the 6 MCU films I've given my highest grade to. And Matthew V. Haynes donated $2 to you, Ryan.
Thank you so much, Matthew.
well, that's nice.
Yeah, just
that's
out of
nice.
the blue.
That's nice.
And, while we were talking, a couple of new people joined in. We have Poric Reviews in here. We got Harry Thomas here.
Hey, what's up, Harry?
And we got Master of Gaming in here. So new people
what's
in
up,
here,
Master
and
of Gaming?
People are liking Iron Man.
Well, that's always good.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So yeah. Now
I am behind on my cinema. You're right, Devin. I'm very behind on my cinema, but I'm getting
only 10 years.
Yeah, just more or less.
Yeah.
Don't rub it in, Tyler.
Well, I was saying because it came out in early May of 2008.
I know.
That's what I was like. It's about 10 years.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about our next movie in our Phase 1 lineup. That is The Incredible Hulk, directed by Louis Leterrier. I think Louis Leterrier, starring Edward Norton as Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Definitely a very forgotten movie in the MCU. A lot of people label it as the black sheep of the MCU. So many different opinions on this one. Tyler, what are your thoughts on Incredible Hulk?
Well, once again, I did a guest review with John from Real Talk talking about The Incredible Hulk. So just throwing that out there if you want to go check that out. But the quick summary, it is the black sheep of the whole MCU because pretty much everybody in that film nobody talks about except for they just brought back General Ross in Civil War. I mean, other than that, I mean, Edward Norton's not the Bruce Banner anymore. But I mean, he played him completely different than Mark Ruffalo does. I actually prefer Mark Ruffalo, but I still don't mind Edward Norton in this movie. Just like he plays it differently. It's just Edward Norton's just a completely different style actor than Mark Ruffalo, and it still worked. And I like Tim Roth a lot as the Abomination in the film, and I kind of want him to come back because he didn't die. I mean, it's not like in a lot of MCU films where the villain dies and so they can't use him anymore. Like pretty much every original Spider-Man movie and some of the MCU films as well.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, they could always bring him back if they really wanted to, and they don't really have to bring back Tim Roth as Tim Roth. He can just be mocap. But yeah, it's definitely underrated. It's not one of the best films in the MCU just because there's so many other films, because, I mean, that was the second one. But I still liked The Incredible Hulk, but, I mean, it's better than the Ang Lee one from 2003.
Oh, yeah. Don't even bring that one up.
Not MCU related, but it's better than that one, at least.
Don't bring that up. I remember seeing that.
Oh, my God.
Where the Hulk doesn't show up for the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think we all want to forget about that nightmare from Ang Lee. But Amari, what are your thoughts on Incredible Hulk?
Honest, I really didn't enjoy it that much because, well, I felt like as if the actor really didn't want to be a part of this movie. It seemed like he really just rolled with the punches, and it felt as if he was just not happy with the Incredible Hulk role, aka Bruce Banner, because that's just my opinion on it. But the only thing that was enjoyable about it was the end credits. The end credits were the only thing I enjoyed.
That's a good one.
And Cody, what are your thoughts on Incredible Hulk?
Oh, I can talk. We're gonna get to a point where I can't talk about it. But,
where's the line? Where's the last one you have seen?
Okay, I've seen this, and we're gonna go up to First Avenger, and then after that, I've seen Spider-Man: Homecoming, I've seen Black Panther, and that's it. Okay.
Oh, big jump in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I don't think out of all the ones that I've watched, this one is kind of like the most forgettable, and it's just like the black sheep of them all. It's just kind of out in left field, and it seems like it's nothing to do with what's going on. That's just sort of how I took from it. Yeah. But Ryan, did you want to say anything?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with everyone here. I enjoyed The Incredible Hulk. I don't love it. It's one of my least favorite in the MCU. I liked Edward Norton in the role, just I think Mark Ruffalo is better. Yeah. I mean, Edward Norton he's a very hard actor to work with. I mean, and Marvel treated him wrong, so that's why they didn't bring him back. But he was fine in the role. I didn't like Liv Tyler as the love interest.
No, neither did I. She was one of the main negatives.
She's probably the weakest love interest. But
I hope she doesn't come back ever.
Me neither.
I like Tim Roth as the Abomination, though. I think he could come back potentially in the
I
future.
hope so. That's what I'm hoping for.
He was a pretty good villain. And I liked William Hurt as Ross. I mean, bringing him back for Civil War was just, it was good. So it's finally something from that movie they brought back. But yeah. I really liked a lot of the action sequences in The Incredible Hulk. Like the final battle with Abomination was awesome.
Cool. That was cool.
Oh,
that was a cool battle.
That.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and also the fight scene in the college with all the SWAT trucks and all that. That was an awesome scene.
Yeah.
But
I remember that one.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Incredible Hulk for what it was, but it's not one of my favorite MCU movies by a long shot.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
And there's just so many others now.
Yeah.
And Cody, what we got going on?
So we have Harry Thomas saying The Incredible Hulk is the most underrated MCU installment in his opinion, which is nice to see some love for The Incredible Hulk. We've been giving it love, but he has,
Yeah, it's good to see some love going on there.
I'm gonna scroll by all the people making fun of me for not watching the movies.
That works.
Someone special is in here, Cody.
I know I'm getting to them. Master of Gaming says The Incredible Hulk is decent. The Incredible Hulk sucked, says Movie Talk. Wow.
Wow.
We have CM Guy joining, and we have John from the Real Talk here.
Oh, yeah.
That shameless plug.
Hey, John.
What's up, John?
Some of his favorite peeps in the stream, he says.
Good to see you here, John.
That works. I'll take that.
I like The Incredible Hulk, but I understand why people don't like it. I still want a Red Hulk, says Devin. I'm not sure what that.
It's from the comics.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's from the comics. Oh, okay.
I believe it was General Ross that was the Red Hulk. So it would just have to do that.
Yeah, it was Ross.
Didn't he have a mustache too? At one point.
Yeah, I think so.
Couple of more comments here to go through. CM Guys here. Douglas Beamer said The Incredible Hulk was my favorite in the Phase 1 apart from the Avengers.
What?
And then the chat is trying to figure out who Ryan would what movie Ryan would be in the MCU. Interesting. Okay. I think I've caught up with the chat.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, awesome. All right, so the next film we are going to be talking about is pretty much everyone's least favorite film in the MCU, except for one, Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2, we all know this is a majority of everyone's least favorite MCU film, directed once again by Jon Favreau. Starring Don Cheadle now as War Machine, but and also Mickey Rourke as Whiplash, and Sam Rockwell, Academy Award winner Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer. So, Amari, tell us, what are your thoughts on Iron Man 2?
Well, my thoughts, it was like, I kind of really Whiplash. He seemed like starring villain that no one will honestly remember. And Happy John Ferraro, I think I can't pronounce his last name. John Ferraro as
Happy Hogan.
He was actually the first Iron Man movie. Yeah. And see relationship developed throughout the movie too. And also we're introduced to War Machine in this movie. So that was pretty cool. I love.
Yeah, they finally actually showed War Machine in this one.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure, yeah. All right, Tyler, what are your thoughts on Iron Man 2, man?
It sucks.
Did you do a review first? Hang on. Did you do a review?
No,
okay, I did not.
Nobody's asked me to do one yet, so I'm here. If anyone needs
no more shameless plugs.
I think that's the last one, at least for now. But yeah, I didn't really like Iron Man 2 that much. I haven't watched it. It's not one in a long time. It's not one of the ones I particularly like rewatch. Like it's not one of the ones I really enjoy, so I wouldn't rewatch it. But I mean, it has its merits because I mean, it is the first time that we saw Black Widow You know, Scarlett Johansson's gone on to obviously be a lot better as Black Widow in other
Oh
films.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, the wig
definitely.
was a little weird, but it's crazy to think that, you know, looking back, it actually could have been Emily Blunt instead as Black Widow all these years instead of Scarlett Johansson. But didn't work out. Yeah, she was supposed to be Black Widow, but they forced her to do that Gulliver's Travels movie. And, like, she couldn't get out of it, so they had to give the role to someone else, which ended up being Scarlett Johansson. But yeah, I mean, I liked it, like parts, because I mean, like the part on the racetrack where where Tony uses the suit, uses the briefcase suit and all that. That was cool. The end battle with when they finally have War Machine was really cool. But other than those two parts of the movie, I really don't really like that movie very much. It's just very, very awful. Like the plot's okay, but I mean, I like Mickey Rourke as an actor. I mean, he's a great actor in other films. It's just he didn't work very well in this film, and I like Sam Rockwell and many other things, but just he didn't. I mean, I don't mind Justin Hammer as much actually, but overall, I didn't really like the movie that much.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got an Oscar now.
Yeah, he's got an Oscar. He ain't complaining. Like Cody, you have also seen Iron Man 2. What are your thoughts, man? I know you got a different opinion, buddy.
You know, honestly, I still think Iron Man's better. Don't get me wrong, but this one, for me, I enjoyed it because there was more like they brought in new people, and it allowed me to I got to know Samuel L. Jackson's character, and I got to know Scarlett Johansson's character a little bit. I think the story was kind of fun. I agree the villain was awful. Whiplash was terrible. But I want to know more about Justin Hammer. I think that's what the most I gained from that movie is I want to know more about this character.
Very true.
Yes. Yeah, and my thoughts overall on Iron Man 2, it's my least favorite MCU movie, and I'm with you guys. I don't mind Justin Hammer. Sam Rockwell did a great job as Justin Hammer. Whiplash was just awful. Awful villain. The movie is just a 2-hour-long commercial and setup for the frickin' Avengers movie.
Pretty much.
It didn't do anything of being a decent Iron Man sequel. Like, we get it. We love Nick Fury. We love Black Widow and all these characters. But it should have focused on an Iron Man movie, not an Avengers setup. It's like BVS. The BVS for the MCU.
That was all set up.
Yeah.
And basically, like Justin Hammer is like, and basically, like Justin Hammer is like the Lex Luthor of the MCU.
Yeah.
I mean, one scene in that film aggravated me so much. They're talking about a freaking bird for 5 minutes. Like,
I want my bird.
Oh my god! Don't get me started on my bird. Do not get me started on that bird. Don't get me started on the bird.
I want my bird. No, this is my bird. And my bird. My bird.
Yeah.
I feel so good that I can understand this.
You understood that reference.
Yes.
Like 50% of the humor is about this freaking bird.
Yeah.
But a lot of everyone's pretty much on the same page with Iron Man 2. But Cody, what does the chat have to say about Iron Man 2?
Yeah, a lot of people are agreeing with us. Samuel One World has this as his least favorite MCU movie. We got Adam Daly in here from Almost Sideways.
Hey, what's going on, Adam?
How's it going, Adam?
Adam in here.
The villain has arrived.
CM Guy says Iron Man 2 is better than the Incredible Hulk. We got Ninja Warrior Superstars in here.
Hey, what's going on, Ninja Warrior?
That was a good.
Devin Pilgrim says he didn't dislike Iron Man 2. He just thought it was decent. Iron Man 2 is a mess. It focuses. Yep. Everyone's basically saying it's bad. Scott Sullivan's here.
Hey, what is up, Scott Sullivan?
We got John's Disney Stories in here. I loved Iron Man 2 over 2. We haven't gotten to Iron Man 3 yet, but Matthew V. Haynes says he likes Iron Man 2 over 3 any day of the week. So.
Really? Wow. Really? Some different opinions, for sure.
Yeah, I've caught up to the chat.
All right. So pretty much most of the people are on the same page with Iron Man 2. So, yeah, talking about Iron Man 2, but let's go on to our next movie. And that is a movie that a character that we had no freaking clue about unless you're a huge comic book junkie. It's a character I knew jack shit about going into the Avengers, but I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. And that is Thor, directed by Kenneth Branagh. starring Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins. Now, Thor is a really pretty good movie. So let's start with Tyler. What did you think of Thor?
I mean, that's another one I haven't watched in a long time. I mean, I like Thor as a character, but I definitely feel like this is probably my second favorite as far as like the Thor trilogy as it is right now. But I like Kenneth Branagh. I like what he's brought to the movie. I mean, I like Kenneth Branagh as an actor. I mean, actor and director actually. But I mean, he was fine. It was nice. It was a nice setup for Thor. I mean, Thor. I mean, it's kind of just like the original Thor's been pretty much just like a fish out of water kind of story because he kind of just gets sent down and just has to live with us normal humans for the entire movie because he's not worthy.
Yeah.
But But I mean, Loki. I mean, obviously it was the introduction to Loki, who ended up being still one of the best villains in the MCU still to this day.
Yep.
So and he, weirdly enough, he could have been Thor back then. So who knows how different that would have been? But Thor was fine. I mean, I don't hate it. It's not one of those movies I went back and rewatched anytime soon. I don't mind any of them or the Warriors 4. Well, 3 of them are dead now, but they weren't dead then, so they were okay in that movie. But
awesome. Good. All right. So, Mari, what are your thoughts on Thor? I know you have a crush on Thor.
Yeah.
That was good.
Nice.
Okay, so well, mine is the same as Tyler's. I really didn't want to over and over again, but Natalie Portman, yeah, that kind of really just turned me off. I didn't see their relationship blooming throughout the whole movie.
That's true, actually.
It still needed some work. The relationship still needs some work, and like Tyler said, with Thor,
I completely agree.
Vanished down to Earth. Thor, and he, because of his arrogance and trying to start a war with the Frost Giants, he finally learns at the near end of the movie what it takes to be a real hero, and he gains his powers back. And also, when the bridge is destroyed, he had to make the ultimate sacrifice to save everyone on Earth and saving his brother.
Yeah, he had to fight that. He had to fight that giant metal monster in the desert too.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was the only one I actually enjoyed.
Yeah, definitely.
Cody, what were your thoughts on Thor?
All right, now to Amari, Tyler, Ryan, and everybody in the chat, get ready for this because I'm going to shock you. This is my favorite phase. This is my favorite Phase 1 movie to this point.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I had a blast with this movie. I really did. I give it a. What did I give it? I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5. Yeah.
I really dug this movie. I think Chris Hemsworth's great in the role. I think he overacts sometimes just a little bit.
Oh yeah,
that's just me.
I noticed that. Yeah,
I think he overacts a little bit. But what's her name? The love interest.
Natalie Portman.
While she's dropped dead gorgeous.
Dalla?
First off,
Queen
I actually bought their romance. I really dug it. I don't know. I'm gonna get hate. And I just enjoyed the movie. Fun time, and Loki's a badass. I have to end.
Oh yeah.
Oh, totally.
You know, we completely forgot to talk about Hawkeye being in the film.
Oh yeah.
Hawkeye. I just noticed he was up there.
He wasn't.
Yeah. Let's say because the forgotten Avenger, like usual.
That's a good question.
They have like a special way of hiding other Marvel characters in the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
When it comes to Natalie Portman, we can all agree that it's a better romance than Hayden Christensen.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But anyway, my thoughts on Thor, I really, really dug this movie a lot. I mean, all the stuff on Asgard was fantastic. I mean, Chris Hemsworth, the start of Thor's character in particular, he starts as a cocky, arrogant prick, doesn't care about anything. He's a prince. He's basically cocky. I mean, he doesn't give a shit. He puts his friends' lives in danger, and freaking Odin takes his powers away, sends him to Earth. And yeah, Tom Hiddleston, fantastic as Loki. Anthony Hopkins, terrific as Odin. And I loved everything on Asgard until we got to frickin' Earth. I mean, the fish out of water story. The fish out of water story, I love a lot of the comedy on Earth when a scene where Thor tries to go get an animal, he's like, I want a horse.
Yeah. Oh, and when he enjoys the coffee, like this drink, I like it. Another, and he slams the glass.
Another. Oh yeah, I remember that one.
I want a horse.
And
that was a good one.
With Eric Selby.
But I just enjoyed all that. I don't know.
That's the God of Thunder.
I don't know.
I just find the romance really bland. I didn't really connect with Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth. Really was just a dull relationship.
At least it doesn't matter anymore because she's not. They kind of axed it after Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, they X'd her out completely. Yes, but Kat Dennings, I do not. Yeah. I don't like Kat Dennings at all in these movies. I don't find her funny at all. And Stellan Skarsgård as the professor, he's okay.
Yeah,
he's there.
They phased him out a lot too in recent movies.
And I do like Phil Coulson. I really like Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson. I love that character very much.
Yeah, he's fun.
We got a lot to get to in the chat. It's getting hard to catch up. But
what is everyone saying about Thor, Cody?
Hopefully,
Scott Sullivan brings up an interesting point. Quickly, we can touch on it if you want. He said, "To me, MCU films are way too overhyped. They're all just fine movies. If given the option, I'd much rather just rewatch other movies I like." So
what?
Well, you could say that about any film, really.
Yeah, that's true. Then we have a couple people saying Thor's a great character. John from the Real Talk, all the Earth stuff sucks.
Let's
see. Kat Dennings is the only thing I'm not a fan of. Devin didn't like Thor. Interesting. A lot of people. We got Half Knocked in here. He said he's watching and listening on his work phone. He's happy to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, Half Knocked.
Let's see. And then Adam said, keep in mind, guys, Cody hasn't seen Star Wars. Thanks, Adam. Okay.
You'll never shut up about that, Cody.
Oh, well.
But that's basically saying we kind of mixed opinions on Thor, but yeah.
All right, so that was Thor. Yeah, pretty good movie. Next movie we're going to talk about, this is one of my personal favorite MCU movies. So freaking underrated right here. Captain America, the First Avenger. I love this movie. I will talk about it. Directed by Joe Johnston, director of Jumanji, Jurassic Park 3. And just this movie in particular, it's one of my personal favorites. But, So, Amari, what did you think of Captain America, the First Avenger?
When I first saw it, it was a pretty good backstory to Steve Rogers. We get to know how he became the super soldier and everything. And also, the relationship between them was pretty good. It was actually, we get to see introduced to an Infinity Stone in this movie. It was the Tesseract, as most of you already know. And all in all, we get to see, the trial just had to go through and everything, and how he became frozen, and how the Avengers Initiative basically. Also get to see Tony Stark's father in there.
Yeah, before they recast him a bunch of times.
And I love how it's set in the 1920s of New York City and everything. That's basically my thoughts on it. That's basically it.
All right.
Oh no.
And Tyler, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I definitely agree. It's one of the more underrated films in the MCU because nobody really. Well, it doesn't help that the other two Captain America films are amazing, which doesn't help. Kind of just shuns the First Avenger, but I don't mind it. I mean, I like that it's different. It goes back to the early 1900s, which is cool because not a lot of the films in the MCU have really gone backwards in time, for a full film yet, which is cool. And it was a really nice introduction to Chris Evans as Captain America. I mean, I definitely didn't expect him to be as good as he was. He got better in each movie, definitely. And it was the introduction of Bucky for 5 minutes. And also, I mean, I didn't really mind Hugo Weaving as the Red Skull, but he's not ever been brought up ever again in any other like MCU film, and I don't know why. Because like he was fine, but it's just
I want him to come back.
He's that forgettable.
it's been
He's
like
forgettable.
7 years, like and nobody's ever brought him up ever again. Haley Atwell was really good as Peggy Carter, and she's had her moments throughout the entire MCU. And overall, I mean, it's definitely underrated. It's not one of my favorites or anything, but it's definitely at least watchable. It's one of those movies that are better probably after you watch it once. It's better on rewatch.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
And Cody, what are your thoughts?
So this is the most recent one that I've watched, so it's all fresh in my head, which is fun. I love this movie. I thought it's a very good comic book movie. You know, I've known of the character of Captain America for a long time, and you know, like now, like knowing his backstory and how he became the character, it was really cool to watch that on the screen. I thought Chris Evans was great. I thought his skinny CGI little self was kind of weird to look at.
That was weird.
Yeah, just a little bit, but you know, then it turns into a fun ride. I think the Red Skull is the worst villain so far that I've seen.
Yes.
I don't know.
Disagree.
He really didn't do much for me.
It's not the worst, definitely. It's definitely one of the worst, but not the worst.
Yeah. I don't know. He just didn't do much for me. But yeah, that's basically it. It was a really fun film. I think I agree with Tyler. Rewatching it is probably more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love First Avenger. This is one of my favorite MCU movies. Chris Evans nailed the freaking role in the first movie. Yeah. Coming out of Fantastic Four, he got so much hate, but he completely proved everybody wrong. I am pretty much on the boat that I think the love story between Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter is the best love story in the entire MCU. I mean, take a look at this. I mean, it's the most believable love story.
Much better than
I've
Jane
seen.
and Thor.
Absolutely. I mean, I cared about the relationship. I mean, the end when Cap freezes in the ice and he knew he was never going to see her again. I really felt that connection that they had throughout the entire film. Like, he's had a crush on her and they just had a really good relationship, like a love-hate type of relationship. But Tommy Lee Jones was also fantastic.
That's true. Colonel. I forgot he was in there, actually.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones was great. Stanley Tucci was great as well.
Yeah.
Dr. Erskine. Yeah, that's his name. I love the Red Skull. He's one of my favorite MCU villains. Hugo Weaving nailed that freaking role. I mean, I just love the makeup design on him, his red. Yeah. I just want him to come back so freaking bad.
It would be cool to have him come back eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd be a lot older, obviously.
I mean, Hugo Weaving's just an awesome actor. He brought so much entertainment value to the Red Skull. He's one of those MCU villains, like he gets involved. Many of the other MCU villains, we don't get a backstory of how they became evil. And from the opening scene back in Germany, we saw how the Red Skull, we saw his motivation. He wanted to get the Tesseract, and then he created Hell Hydra. I mean, Hydra is awesome in this film. And also, what's his name? Toby Jones. As Arnim Zola, also a really good villain as well. But yeah, I loved all the Hydra stuff. I love the action in this movie, the World War II stuff, like Wonder Woman. I mean, Wonder Woman definitely got a lot of inspiration from this film for sure.
Oh, definitely.
I really like First Avenger. I think it's extremely underrated.
Agreed.
Maybe it's good I won't be talking for a while. Okay.
Okay,
I'm just kidding.
Cody,
let's go to the chat.
Cody, what is the chat talking about?
Couple of things here. Rich Review says Captain America: The First Avenger is essentially the remake of the 1990 movie.
Those movies are dumb fun.
Most enjoyable film from the Master of Gaming's childhood, which is nice to see. Devin doesn't even know if he's seen the first Avenger all the way through. A couple of new people have joined us. We have Speed Force 37. He said, "What's up?" He's like here for Amari. So thanks for bringing someone over, Amari.
No problem.
Good.
He said this might be an unpopular opinion, but Captain America was only good for character development. Extremely boring.
That's fair.
And Ryan, we have our cousin Patrick in here.
Shout out to my cousin Patrick Preston. What's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in.
He said he liked the first Avenger. Many people dismiss it because it's basically just a prequel to the Avengers. But as a straightforward, old-fashioned superhero action movie, it was decent. The Real Talk loved Captain America, the first Avenger, and it's a great introduction to Captain America.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
We also have Teresa Castanda in here. Hello, Teresa. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. And Misung Park is here as well.
Awesome. All right, so that's First Avenger. A lot of people really like this movie for sure. Our next movie is our final film in Phase 1, the film that we've been waiting for years ago, the frickin' Avengers. I mean, the Avengers, what else needs to be said? Joss Whedon directed this movie. I mean, coming off the Firefly series, we didn't know what to expect, what he'd do with this movie, and he nailed it out of the freaking park. I mean, so many nerdgasms in this film. But, Tyler, what did you think of the Avengers, man?
I still think it was really good. I mean, it's definitely up there as far as MCU films go still. I mean, it's the culmination of everything we waited for from the first phase. I mean, Loki's comes back as the main antagonist, which is wonderful. I mean, it's just awesome to see everybody come together for the film. You know, pretty much, you know, not the first ever shared universe thing, but the first big one in the modern age. And it was just cool to finally see all these heroes and all the labor we've watched through all these movies, see everybody fight, you know, together, you know, as one, and then it's probably going to get ruined in Infinity War. But but I did enjoy everybody coming together, all having their own different personalities. Obviously, they didn't all get along at first, so they're obviously not like put together in the best way because I mean they kind of have no choice and they don't get along. Thor and Hulk fight each other, and they fight a couple times actually. A couple of them do, which leads into Civil War. But as the first like big crossover shared universe Avenger film, I definitely think it was really awesome.
Oh yes, for sure. Amari?
My thoughts on Avengers is actually I saw it twice when it came out in theaters. Twice. That's how much I loved it. And I have to say, I agree with Tyler. It was pretty epic, and I loved Loki as the main protagonist. And don't forget, remember with Hulk, he threw Loki around, tossed him like a rag doll. My whole theater was cracking up to that.
Puny God.
Puny God.
Yeah. Also, I loved how the whole team came together in this huge movie. We get to see how the team first came together. And also, another favorite scene of mine was when Hulk punched Thor in the face. I was cracking up to that. Yeah.
That was a good one.
And yeah, what else I can say? At the end credits, if most people say it after, we finally get introduced to Thanos.
Yeah.
And we see.
He looks completely different now than he did back then, though.
Got out of his chair.
That's true.
That too.
His chair.
Yeah. Yes, he did. But all in all, this was just a pretty awesome to see our favorite heroes come together for the first time. That's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Well, Cody hasn't caught up on the Avengers yet, but my thoughts on the Avengers overall, I've seen this movie over 20 times. This movie is just so freaking good. I love the Avengers. And funny enough, to be completely honest, I did not see this movie in theaters. I've watched it many times on Blu-ray. And that's one of the films I hugely regret not seeing in theaters. I mean, to this day, the Avengers, just seeing all these heroes come together for the first time was just cinema magic. I mean, the third act is one of my favorite third acts of all time. I mean, that is just comic gold, nerdgasm explosion. Everything about that third act was just perfect. I mean, I agree with Tyler completely. Just the Avengers chemistry, they didn't get along at all. I mean, it's just perfect chemistry, seeing them fight, arguing back and forth.
Yeah, they fought a couple times.
Yeah, that fight scene with Iron Man and Thor was so freaking awesome. And
you want me to put the hammer down?
And then Cap was like, "That's enough." Also, that opera scene with Loki fighting Captain America, that was an awesome scene in Iron Man. And,
the old man said.
Yeah, when Thor and Hulk fight for the first time, that was an awesome scene as well. And it just like Tyler, one of my favorite scenes is when he throws Loki around. Freaking awesome. And he does that again to Thor and Ragnarok. So
and
awesome.
he's like, oh,
God.
But anyway, I just loved all the humor in this movie. It was just comedy gold. Like shawarma, that's a funny ass joke. I mean, Tony Stark just so freaking funny. His personalities. And just the action sequences are just iconic. I absolutely love the Avengers. It's one of my favorite MCU films for sure. And Joss Whedon nailed it.
True. I love Joss Whedon.
And Cody, what is everyone talking about with the Avengers?
Looks like a lot of good things about the Avengers. Teresa says it's the first film where Thanos appears. Frickin' awesome movie, says Sammy. Nothing else needs to be said, what somebody said. Yeah, I think we all pretty much nailed it. John has to head out because he's going to finish to watch Civil War for Ryan in his review. A little bit of a plug right there.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, John.
Let's see. Here. A lot of people are just saying Thanos and his team are badass, and
Black Order.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Josh Whedon's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people are loving the Avengers.
All right, and let's tune into Phase 2 now. Phase 2. Definitely the most controversial, divisive MCU film to date. Iron Man 3 is up next, directed by Shane Black, and this movie, all in all, very divisive opinions for sure on it. So we're going to start with Tyler on this one. Tyler, what were your thoughts on Iron Man 3?
I mean, it's okay. It's not like I don't hate it with a passion like some people do. I mean, I don't like it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was weird that Shane Black's doing it this time, and I mean, I don't mind a lot of Shane Black movies because I mean, I like a lot of his other movies that he's done after this actually too. But yeah, it's definitely different because I mean, I'm also a little upset about all the build up for the Mandarin and then it just like thrown out the window for this film with Ben Kingsley and his actor and he's an actor and all that. And I didn't really mind the villain too much, but I mean, I didn't like him really either. I mean, was it Guy Pearce?
Yeah, Aldrich Killian, Guy Pearce.
Yeah, I mean all that stuff with the extremist crap. It was tolerable. It was I mean it was okay. I'm not a huge fan of this one. It's not one I particularly rewatched. I mean it made a bunch of money because it came out after Avengers. So I mean it's got that going for it, but it's definitely in the middle as far as the Iron Man trilogy goes.
I completely agree. Amari, what did you think?
Well, I actually kind of somewhat enjoyed it. I also remember that little kid that Tony met.
The kid from Insidious.
The kid from Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, Insidious and Jurassic World.
And the nice guys.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of things.
Yeah. I also love like the chemistry that him and Tony had. He was kind of like a super genius too. Tony kind of saw like a miniature version of him and everything, and he also set him up like at the near end of the movie. He set up his garage with everything. He got him a car. I don't know if he's licensed to drive yet, but now it's been a few years. I think he's old enough to drive. And also, like that guy that was playing the Mandarin, I didn't enjoy him.
Yeah, the Mandarin.
Kind of disappointed.
You know
what? He was going to be a real villain, but turns out he was actually.
See me coming.
Yeah, I
You'll never see me coming.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was a real villain, but instead he was just a dumb
MacGuffin
actor who we got paid to be a villain. I was.
My name's Trevor. I'm an actor.
My name's Trevor Zeus. I wouldn't go in the bathroom for a few hours.
Well, the reveal for him being an actor was the ridiculous part because they just because
that was just stupid.
Just chilling in his house.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what really got me heartbroken was that Happy Hogan got caught in that. I was like, why did
he wasn't directing it, so I guess he figured, screw this, I'm not gonna be in most of the movie.
Yeah, but I was kind of having like panic attacks from the Battle of New York.
PTSD from the Avengers.
Yeah, scared for him because that kind of like traumatized him because he was almost like
as it should.
Yeah. Actually, when he got that chest, he was able to like get a new start. He was going to actually retire from Iron Man, but where would he where would the MCU be if we didn't have Iron Man?
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
Kind
speaking of other things, we forgot to mention that it's the Iron Patriot in this film, not War Machine.
No.
Oh, Iron Patriot.
He's not War Machine. He's Iron Patriot in this film. He's red, white, and blue. They took that out of the comics because then the Iron Patriot was Norman Osborn in the comics.
Yes. And how many freaking people are in an Iron Man suit movie?
Yeah.
So many freaking
suits. Every suit you can imagine.
When all those Iron Man, I love that when all the Iron Man suits came out. That was practically one of my favorites.
And then they blew up.
Yeah, it was Christmas. Christmas. He wants to do it.
I didn't hate this one, but I'm not a huge fan of Iron Man 3. I mean, I would say the first half hour of this movie is really good, very interesting, all the way up to the point where the Mandarin blew up his house. Not the Mandarin, but the villain blew up his house, Trevor. But I love that scene where his house is collapsing. That's a really good scene. I love the score in the film. Yeah. So I just love the story overall of Tony. He has to be Iron Man without his suits. Like Tony Stark, he has to adjust to be an Iron Man without his suits. His suits get freaking ripped to shit, and he's by himself. He ends up in this Tennessee-like town, and the kid I really enjoyed, Ty Simpkins, I think that's his name. And the villain, Aldrich Killian, I didn't hate him. He was meh. But what's the point with all the Extremis Project stuff? I found that extremely unnecessary.
Like Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow saved the day. At the end.
Try to make her not be a damsel in distress, and it didn't really work for me. But Iron Man 3 had some really entertaining moments, like when the president's plane went down. I really liked that sequence. That was a really good scene. And just the run of the Quim. And the suit kept falling apart or whatever. Like it's like he wasn't even in the suit. Like they tried to suitcase that. But I enjoyed some aspects of this film, but I just don't love it. I hated the twist. Like the twist was so freaking dumb when I first saw it.
I think most people hate the twist even to this day.
I found it really cringeworthy. And it's just really weird. But, I like Ben Kingsley. He's a great actor and all that. But the film was just a mess in most parts. But, Cody, what are people saying about Iron Man 3?
Yeah, just like you guys, a lot of mixed things here. The Iron Man 3 is decent, but the score is awesome. So a little bit of praise for the score. Some people saying Iron Man 3 is good. I thought Iron Man 3 was okay. I thought the plot twist was funny but disappointing, but the humor and action and RDJ make it worth it. And then Patrick Preston say, I hated that kid. I hated him. Sammy also had a funny point. Iron Man 3 was amazing, ... till that damn plot twist.
Exactly. Most people hate that freaking plot twist.
Why did he give the Mandarin his address, his real address, mind you, and not come up with a plan? WTF.
Definitely last minute.
Some mixed things for sure for Iron Man 3.
All right, Iron Man 3, most divisive MCU film completely. All right, the other MCU film that came out in 2013, definitely one of the most disappointing sequels next to Iron Man 2, Thor the Dark.
Directed that was a thing.
Not directed by Kenneth Branagh, directed by Alan Taylor. And this movie was a mess. We have a lot of things to talk about. But Amari, what were your thoughts on this movie?
Well, actually, I don't know. I honestly don't know how I was able to watch it. It was just like, oh my god, my eyes were bleeding on the inside for watching this. I did not know why I bought this movie. But all in all, the relationship between Thor and Jane Foster is still crappy as ever.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. I haven't seen it. Oh no.
You're for a fun ride then.
Oh my god. Yeah, but Infinity Stone.
Poor Cody's
So,
getting
yeah.
spoiled.
Oh, the
Man,
ether.
Malekith. Yeah,
I'll forget it all.
yeah, Malekith. Yeah, Malekith.
Yeah.
He's just another forgettable. Malekith is just. Malekith is just another forgettable.
That's how I felt about Malekith in this movie.
All right, you're done, Amari?
Yeah, really hurt me. What really hurt me the most is that he killed Thor's mother. That
Oh,
was
yeah, that's
upsetting
it.
and
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
yes.
That was the one.
The funeral was cool, at least.
Yes.
Unforgettable. It reminded me of something out of the
Yeah,
prequels.
that's
The prequels, yeah.
I found that
Yeah.
death so freaking forgettable.
That's true.
yeah. But
yeah.
like there was also this one scene with all the four warriors with Loki. They were like, Lady Sif was like, if you betray him, I will kill you. And Loki's like,
That's for New York.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Jake Foster slaps him in the face. That's
Right.
for New York.
That's fair.
I was laughing. That was the only scene that was funny. That was the only good scene in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
but we also didn't know was that Chris Hemsworth was actually kissing his wife Elsa, like with Jane Foster. They had his wife come in, step in for Natalie Portman.
Yeah, at
so,
the end.
So he could kiss her.
Yeah,
So
well,
his
at least he
wife.
was never seen again after that movie.
Can I just say I
Natalie
love?
Portman,
Can I just say I freaking love Stan Lee's cameo in this? Yeah, can I have my shoe back?
We haven't even
Definitely- definitely-
We
one
haven't
of the
even
better.
talked about the Stan Lee cameos in these movies.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely one of the better ones. My favorite
Yes.
one is probably the Tony Stank.
Tony Stank,
Yeah.
superheroes in New York, superheroes in New York. Give me a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on the same page as you guys. Thor: The Dark World. This was a mess and a boring. Freaking Malekith. Oh my god, he put me to sleep so
It's a
many
shame.
times.
It's a shame though because I like Christopher Eccleston as an actor because I mean I'm a Doctor Who fan and he was the
Yes.
Ninth Doctor and I'm a fan of Christopher Eccleston as an actor but he's just not really given anything to do in this movie.
Yeah, his character. Who remembers one word of
I am
dialogue?
evil. I am evil because I am. That's pretty much it. Like I'm gonna bring back my elves and I need the ether and then he gets the ether and they just mess around in the city for a bit and that's it. Like it's not like a epic battle really.
Just an exposition dump. Like I really enjoyed the humor in this movie, all the Asgard stuff. I thought Loki, Tom Hiddleston, was even better than he was in the first Thor. I mean, just the scenes of him locked up in prison was just so intense and awesome.
You must really be desperate.
You must be truly desperate to come to me for help.
Yeah, as they should have been. Yeah.
But yeah, I love Anthony Hopkins as Odin, and yeah, so many scenes in this movie. In the final act, when Loki and Thor team up at the end, and then Jane also comes along with them, and they tried to set so many things up that just did not work. Like
I agree.
They killed Loki.
They killed Loki yet again. It didn't make any freaking sense.
They killed him, and then you're supposed to be like emotionally invested because he sacrificed himself and he didn't die.
He's my least. Yeah, I didn't care if he died. I really didn't. I didn't.
I cared. It's just I don't care now, looking back.
Also, another thing that saved this movie was Captain America's cameo. Oh, this is much better.
Oh yeah.
Oh
my god.
Yeah, that's true.
It was such a funny ass cameo.
He was shape shifting all throughout the hall.
It was definitely one of the most memorable cameos.
Definitely.
Yeah.
God bless America.
yeah.
But yeah. What did you guys think of that end fight? How they went into different dimensions, like on Earth and back on Earth?
Yeah, I love that. Especially when Thor's face hits the glass. This is his second time his face hit glass. Hit glass.
I thought it was funny that he used public transportation.
Oh yeah.
He gets on the train.
That girl just like that girl was like bumping into him, and he was like smiling.
Yeah, and then all the teleporting random stuff throughout the city because Kat Dennings was in the city with that random guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, the intern.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Interns. Yeah.
Whatever his name was.
Intern. I can't remember either.
And then Stellan Skarsgård runs around naked.
Yeah, that too. He went insane. He was hanging out like Stonehenge.
Oh my god!
He was at a mental hospital.
Why was he doing that?
He went to a friggin' mental hospital. But
what even was this movie? What's even worse is that the director for this went on after this to go and ruin the Terminator franchise because after this he went and did Terminator Genesis or Genesis or whatever you want.
Genesis.
Oh my god!
That was so bad they're rebooting that again too.
Man, I feel bad.
Yeah. So Cody.
Oh well.
All right, Cody. What are people talking about with Thor: The Dark World?
I've seen 2 people join the chat. We have Tom Fajoli in here. We also
have what's up, Tom?
We have Fan of Films in here as well. He said, "What up, boys?
What up, Fan of Films?"
Hello.
Let's see here. A couple people. Rich reviews. Thor: The Dark World had no plot.
Very true. That's very true.
Yes, it did not.
So true. So true.
You're not wrong.
Definitely one of the weaker MCU films. Sammy says Malekith is the worst MCU villain.
Definitely.
Hands down.
I agree.
Hands down.
Yes. And Kat Dennings is so freaking annoying. Man, that sounds. And CM guy said he wants to join us. Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, that's me.
That's nice.
And Patrick said Ian Boothby was the intern. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
That wouldn't have bothered me at not knowing, but I appreciate knowing.
Thanks for your research, Patrick.
And this was also the last performance for Natalie Portman too in the MCU.
Yeah,
I was like, thank God.
They removed everybody pretty much from this and going into Thor Ragnarok except Loki. And
apparently,
they killed everybody except Sif in Thor Ragnarok.
Apparently, she dumped her.
Yeah.
She just doesn't exist in Thor Ragnarok.
Apparently, they got dumped
somewhere else.
They broke up.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, Douglas is going to head out, but he says, "Great job, guys."
Thanks for tuning in, Doug.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, not too many thoughts on Thor: The Dark World. I think that's for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Nothing else needs to be said.
Yeah, enough said.
All right, our next movie. Top three best MCU films today. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Not directed by Joe Johnston, directed by the Russo brothers, who are directing Infinity War coming up.
Yeah, and
I freaking love this film, and I think Cody will too. This movie was so completely different from the first film. So many positives, but
Tyler Quinn is in here.
And Tyler, what did you think?
It's definitely one of my favorites in the entire MCU. It's like a really cool espionage spy thriller, which was pretty new for the entire MCU because there's not really they go different genres in the MCU. But I mean, I always like spy films, espionage kind of films. Winter Soldier actually was a pretty good villain overall. I mean, it's weird calling him a villain since he's a hero now, but he was pretty much the villain of the movie. And that whole relationship he had with Captain America was just amazing. All their fight scenes were amazing, especially the introductory fight scene. And he's had no idea it was Bucky. That was really good. I'm trying to think. A lot of the Hydra, the seeds from Hydra, were shown really well in this, and it was just overall a really great film. I mean, even Scarlett Johansson, they killed Nick Fury for part of the movie, which was kind of weird, but overall,
he comes back.
He died, and then they came back, But overall, it's definitely one of my favorites in the entire MCU, and I always have enjoyed Winter Soldier.
All right. Amari, what about you, man?
Well, I actually loved it myself too. I love how we get to see I forgot the character's name that was in the computer. I can't remember, but that Hydra has
Arnim Zola.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zola.
He explained. Zola. He explained how Hydra field for many years, and we get also to Falcon. We get introduced to Falcon in this movie too.
Yes.
Anthony Mackie was pretty good in this.
Hell yes.
yeah, and I was hoping uh, Captain America and Black Widow would get together because I kind of saw them getting together. I
Sorry,
literally
Cap.
did.
Until Age of Ultron, anyways.
Until Hulk came in.
Yeah. I don't even
And
know why that even
question
happened to
is,
this day.
you do literally look like a soldier. You literally do. And Ryan,
Yeah.
please tell me you see it. Yeah, please tell me you see it. You see Tyler looking like the Winter Soldier. Please tell me you see it.
The best romance is Bucky and Captain America.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
You move over every other relationship. Captain America and Bucky is the best relationship in the MCU.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah.
We can't freaking
Also get we also hear them mention Doctor Strange. So I don't know if he was the Sorcerer Supreme back then in the MCU, like during Winter Soldier. I'm not sure.
Oh, you're talking about the ancient one?
Yeah, he was was he was supreme during that time. I can't say for sure, but he probably was. And we also get to see like Captain America tell this little kid he's like in the museum. And another favorite scene of mine was the elevator scene with Captain America.
Oh, he beats up everybody in that elevator.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Yeah, Crossbones was also another character. Speaking of other people we didn't mention, Crossbones is pretty cool in this too.
Yeah, we can't forget about Robert Redford as Alexander Pierce, one of the top 5 best villains.
Him too. Frank Grillo and Robert Redford are both really good, as well as the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I really love Winter Soldier. I mean, when I first saw this movie in theaters, I saw it like 6 times in theaters.
Yeah.
I just freaking loved it. It was my favorite MCU film at the time until another MCU film dethroned it for me. But Winter Soldier, what the Russo brothers did extremely well is making this completely different. It's a spy espionage thriller. It's completely smart. I just love the action in this film. With Sam Jackson and the police cars, that scene is awesome.
Yeah.
I love Henry Jackman's score. It's also very intense and riveting. And the helicarrier battle at the end was just so freaking epic and awesome.
As it's crashing out of the sky.
And yeah, the freaking twist in this movie, you found out that Hydra's been in S.H.I.E.L.D. for over 70 years. And
who would have thought?
Who would ever thought that Hydra would be in S.H.I.E.L.D.? But that's such one of the best plot twists in the MCU for sure. And Robert Redford was just incredible as Alexander Pierce in Winter Soldier. Bucky Barnes, just a huge character arc for him in particular, being a villain now in this film. And just his fight scenes with Cap were just heartbreaking. Especially because I'm with you to the end of the line, pal. I mean, when does an MCU film take itself seriously these days?
Tears were shed during that scene.
This is definitely one of the. This is definitely probably the darkest MCU film to this date, in my personal opinion. Civil War was definitely dark for sure, but I would say Winter Soldier is the darkest MCU film we've had to this date.
Yeah, until Infinity War, everybody dies.
Wow. We're gonna get to that, so stay tuned.
But anyway, Cody, what's the chat saying with Winter Soldier?
I'll just start with this nice compliment to you guys. Someone said you guys are funny, so there you go.
I do my best.
Thank you. I try, man. I try.
Joey Meyer has
shout out to my patron Joey Meyer. What is up, man? Thanks for tuning in.
Joey said, gotta be honest, not as much of a fan of Winter Soldier as the other MCU fans. It's good, but what a waste of Robert Redford.
I completely disagree. He was awesome in that film. He didn't
Robert
really
Redford's
need
great.
to. He didn't need to be in the movie for that long. Like, his scenes were just really good. But I respect your opinion, man.
Sammy said this is his second favorite MCU film.
Guys, let's not forget the twins.
Go ahead, Amari. Sorry.
Oh, yes, the end credit scene. Yes.
The twins, where we see Stone and the twins, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Oh, and Strucker. Strucker was that. They weren't allowed to call them. They weren't allowed to call them mutants because of they don't own that word.
No,
They're
maybe not.
they're the miracles or whatever they call
Didn't
them.
see that coming. But let's talk about Stan Lee's
Yes.
cameo in this film. Oh
Yeah.
man, I am so fired.
That was a good one.
That's one of my favorite Stan Lee cameos. It's perfect.
All his cameos are
Yeah.
great.
It's gonna be hard to do that
Yes,
ranking
they
video
are.
coming up.
Oh, I'm sure.
But anything else, Cody?
Yeah, I'll end it with this question for you guys. What you think? Patrick said, "I wish Cap and Widow got together. Wouldn't that make sense? U.S. and Russia, get it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Somebody agrees with me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh well. I mean, I
I-
wouldn't have minded it, but I mean, it would have made more sense than just randomly she's into Mark Ruffalo.
I think
Yeah.
they feel more like a brother-sister type of relationship than a romance.
Friends.
I would have loved to see them get together, but I really like Hulk and Black Widow's romance. After watching it a few times, it doesn't bother me, but yeah, when I first saw Winter Soldier, I wanted to see them get together, but he is more in love with Peggy Carter. But
I think most
until-
people want to just see Captain America get with Winter Soldier.
and speaking
Yeah.
and speaking of Peggy Carter, she's freaking old.
Yeah,
In
she's
this film.
she actually lived long enough for him to come back.
Yeah, that scene was I like that scene a lot. It's really good.
Devin left a quote in the chat. I don't know if you guys know what it says. They don't own that word.
I think.
No, but,
See, I'm
yeah.
saying they're not allowed to say mutants. That's why they didn't
Oh, is
say
that-
they
okay.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fox would sue them.
It's part of the
Yeah.
whole deal with Quicksilver because they weren't the whole deal is because they had the two Quicksilvers back for like a year, so they weren't allowed.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to call them mutants, and they weren't allowed to mention any of the X-Men or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So they couldn't call them mutants. That's why they were just called miracles or whatever the hell.
America.
It seems a lot of people are with you guys though. Winter Soldier is one of the better films.
Yes,
That is.
completely.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, 2014 was just such a great year for superhero films, except for Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Screw that
But
movie.
this
Yeah,
is
that was-
there was
Worst Spider-Man film so far.
But anyway, there was another great film that came out that year, and that was Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've seen it.
He's seen it. We can talk about it.
Amazing.
Don't know feeling.
But Guardians of the Galaxy, directed by James Gunn. I mean, nobody knew about these characters from the start, and
No.
this was just the biggest surprise MCU film I've seen to this date. I mean, it's so freaking good. It's one of my top 5 MCU films for sure. But
Same.
Amari, what were your thoughts on Guardians
Yes.
of the Galaxy Volume 1?
I am not gonna lie, I loved it, especially when I saw Groot sacrifice himself for his realm. Right there when he says, "We are Groot," I was crying on that part. I was literally bawling my eyes out. And where we hear Rocky say, "What's a raccoon?" I'm like, you, and Quill was like, and here comes the joke. We're calling him a trash panda.
Yeah,
We're
Trash
calling him a
Panda.
trash panda.
That was a good one.
Yes, and like where Peter said to Drax, and Drax replied, "Why would I put my finger on his throat?" It's like it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
definitely
I love Nebula. Yeah, I love Nebula. I love when Gamora or Drax blast Nebula. He was like, "No one messes with my."
No one talks to
He's
my
like that.
friends like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Jeez.
and we get to see Thanos again in this.
And he talks.
Yeah, he looks more
Yeah,
like he actually.
I do not
Look-
seriously. Boy, is
He actually looks more like Thanos in this than he did in the Avengers
Yes.
cameo.
Yes,
He
he
did.
did.
Your
Yeah.
politics
And-
bore me.
Yeah.
And,
He's just
the
in a floating chair in space.
And the Collector also explains what the Infinity Stones are.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's pretty important. That's pretty important. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And Stan Lee's cameo in this movie was pretty funny too.
Oh, when he was just chilling
Where-
on the planet.
No, he was talking to that lady.
Yeah.
Where's your wife, old man?
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Actually, all in all, this movie was pretty enjoyable.
It was
really
enjoyable. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I think this is the MCU film
Yeah,
I've seen the most times in theaters, like 10.
Oh yeah, it's one of the more rewatchable of the entire MCU.
I think it is the most rewatchable MCU film. I mean, it's the most quotable MCU film.
That too.
Tons of quotes you could run. Hey! hey, those are mine. Take those headphones off right now. I am Groot. Yeah, that's the first 89 times you told me that.
Everything like in Drax, everything with Drax, like it would not go over my head because I would catch it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know
goes
how this
over my
machine
head.
worked.
My ribs will catch it.
Yeah.
My reflexes will catch
And
it.
also
his
the dance
dry
off. Let's
humor.
not forget the
Oh, at
dance
the end, yeah,
off.
that was ridiculous, but
Yeah.
in a good way.
But then,
And the chat is reminding us the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Ah!
Hooked on
Ooh,
the
go
feeling.
shotgun. We don't want to get
Copyright, guys. Copyright.
Yeah,
We don't have the rights.
yeah, demonetized immediately.
what about Johnny's era?
Oh well,
I forget the soundtrack.
it was a great
Let's not forget
soundtrack.
Yondu's era. We cannot forget that. Yondu's era.
Who do we not forget?
Where he whistled. Yondu and his era.
Yondu. Yeah,
Like,
Oh,
when
yeah.
he whistles.
Oh,
Yeah, when
the
he
first
whistles, like,
time he actually uses that whistle to kill everybody in that scene.
Yeah.
Yondu. We'll definitely talk about Yondu coming up in Volume 2.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, the thing is, though, what's
Yes.
weird is that Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the best in the MCU, but it has one of the most forgettable and like worst villains. Because I mean,
Yeah.
who really cares? Who cares about
Ronan.
Ronan, the accuser?
Who gives a shit
Yes.
about
No one
Ronan?
cares.
But Cody, what were your thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy?
It's just a fun movie. I mean, I think going into it, I mean, I've seen it more recently, but I think a lot of people going in were like, all right, how is a talking raccoon and a talking tree movie going to work?
A tree that only says 3 words.
Exactly. And
I am
it was
Yeah.
just a start to finish. I
Voiced by
agree.
Vin
One of the
Diesel.
more rewatchable films.
Yeah,
Voiced by
Yeah,
Vin
Vin
Diesel,
Diesel.
the Iron Giant.
which is even weirder when you think about it.
I am Groot! Fire! But yeah, Rocket is awesome in this film. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was just a fun ass film from start to finish. And
Yes, it
there's so
was.
many cool planets. It's basically Star Wars in the MCU.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
so freaking awesome. And
And the,
I didn't like
and the Guardians of
Ronan.
the Galaxy.
And also,
and the
what's
Guardians
his
of the
name?
Galaxy in space. Right?
Yeah, they're in
Hmm.
space. But
First time.
Yeah,
and
the Guardians-
Digimon Hunso too.
Yeah.
Was great in this. Star Lord. Yeah, he was an awesome.
Who?
Who?
Oh,
Star Lord, man.
Yeah, that whole beginning scene with the dance number and all that was great before Dimanche and Hot
Yeah,
Monster.
definitely one of the coolest openings in the MCU.
Yeah.
And also the opening scene in the film when Peter's a kid, he's watching his mother die of cancer. So freaking sad.
oh
Yeah,
but then
more
he gets
God, that was
more
just so
upsetting.
hard. Yeah, that was hard. Yes.
fuck you, ego.
More, yeah, I was gonna say more upset. It's more upsetting when you actually go back and think about it more about it too. It's like, well, damn, I had to put that tumor in her head. You what?
We'll talk about ego when Volume 2 comes up. But
Yeah.
yeah, Cody, what are people talking about with Guardians?
A lot of people are agreeing. It's Devin's favorite MCU movie. He said he wants a Rocket Raccoon origin movie. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I would actually want to see that.
I don't know where that would fit in the MCU.
I would
though.
want a Yondu movie.
Phase
Couple
4,
people-
probably.
Yeah, a couple people have joined us. Bobby Tellier's here, good friend of Ryan and I's.
What's up, Bobby?
Christian
Thank you.
Ruiz is here. He said, all we will be excited when Hulk and Black Dwarf collide. I don't know what that's about, but cool. Patrick said he loves Guardians of the Galaxy. The humor, action, and performances are all fantastic. And I'm hooked on a feeling. That is right. I think we all are. And Devin says, "Yep, already monetized," but he's joking. Demonetized.
Oh well.
You got a couple of donations too out of nowhere. This never happens.
That's all because of me.
Yeah, all because
super chat.
Bobby said for a $5 donation, Fortnite is trash. Nothing to do with MCU.
That's fair.
Nothing. I don't play it.
I play it, but I also agree it's trash.
I don't play Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite.
I love it, but we won't talk about it. And Joey Meyer said Benicio del Toro is Bay with the $2 donation. Okay.
His freaking brother is the Grand Master.
But yeah, lots of love for the Guardians.
All right. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, yes. All right, now moving on to 2015 is when I first saw this movie, I was disappointed because it wasn't better than the first one, but rewatching it more and more times, I've grown to love it more for what it is. That is Avengers Age of Ultron with Joss Whedon back in the director's chair, and you had James Spader as the voice of Ultron, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and you had Paul Bettany play the Vision, not Jarvis. But let's talk about Avengers: Age of Ultron, guys. So, Tyler, what were your thoughts?
I mean, I still don't mind it that much. It's not. I felt like very underwhelmed. I feel like it was very underwhelming as far as like Avengers, because it's supposed to be an Avengers film, which is, those are like the hugest of probably the MCU. But I feel like I liked Ultron, but I really didn't expect him to be as jokey as he was in the film, because he was a lot more jokey than scary, which is kind of what I'm also kind of worried about with Thanos and Infinity War, just because it's like, if you look at the trailers for Age of Ultron, I mean, it seems like Ultron's pretty scary, and most of the trailers he's going to be this big formidable foe, and then you get in the Age of Ultron and he's cracking jokes left and right when, joking, even after he does something like serious, like cut off Claw's arm.
Yeah, so, he's terrifying in the comic books.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he looks super scary in the. I mean, his design is great in the movie, and he looks just as cool in the comic books. But I didn't really feel like that threatened as far as, I didn't feel like he was that big of a threat as far as like for an Avengers film, even though he's supposed to be.
Plus, I agree.
Yeah. Plus Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Well, their version of Quicksilver were okay. I've grown to like Scarlet Witch more as the movies have gone on, and I guess I can't say I really like Quicksilver anymore because he died, but Vision was fine. I didn't mind Paul Bettany as Vision. I thought he did a pretty good job moving from Jarvis. Now he's Vision.
Yeah. And his line at the end, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, well, I was only born yesterday.
I was born. Let's talk about Vision. Vision's so freaking up, guys. We have to go.
Yeah. He picked up the hammer after.
Oh my god!
Let's talk about that scene.
Like,
after that whole scene where they were trying to pick it up on the table.
Picked up Thor's hammer. I was like, why is Vision picking up Thor's hammer?
He's worthy.
Is he worthy?
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah, but Amari, give us your thoughts.
I actually found it pretty somewhat good, and there were a few good scenes I liked, like the opening scene where the Avengers appeared, where they were just heading into battle, and we also see Scarlet Witch like messing with Tony's head a little bit, showing him like all the Avengers died. I don't know if that was like the future or I don't know what. Then there was the part.
Who knows? Foreshadowing, maybe.
Foreshadowing Thanos.
Then there was the scene with the baby where Natasha was like, "Traitor." Yeah.
They completely wasted the Thor flashback or whatever, what Thor dream sequence, because it looked like it was going to be alluding to Thor Ragnarok, and then it was just completely thrown out.
His hot tub time machine scene.
Yeah.
Also, Black Panther is setting that up for Claw.
And also,
Claw.
Yeah. He didn't last very long with Black Panther either.
Yeah. And
But what
what
else,
else I saw?
Marv?
They killed off Quicksilver. They killed off Quicksilver. That was my only problem. He,
Oh well.
I didn't want him to die. Like I was expecting one of the other Avengers to die.
I wanted Hawkeye to die.
Well, Hawkeye, he had a family.
Yeah,
I
but
loved him
he's-
now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is like that's the typical thing. You don't show your family in films, otherwise you're dead. Like usually it's like you're like a couple months from retirement, or here's the pictures of my family, and then then you're the sacrifice.
I have a family. Don't kill me.
Yeah, and what else
Yeah.
I love? What else everyone
I
should
shoot
love?
bow
Like
and
with
arrows.
Scarlet Witch, like with Scarlet Witch ripping out Ultron's heart. He was like, "I just
Yeah.
did." You know what? You know how to feel.
It felt like that.
That's ridiculous.
And Hulk-wise, right into space. We won't be seeing him for another 2 years.
Goes
Yeah,
to Sakaar. Goes to Sakaar.
Yeah, somehow he
Yeah.
fits in that giant plane.
I have no idea how
He's like
fits in there.
he's a giant guy in this little teeny plane.
Yeah.
Hey there, big guy.
Yeah.
The sun's getting low.
Yeah, some of the stuff in that movie was interesting.
But
Yeah,
Age
like
of
the-
Ultron was. I was disappointed by Ultron hugely. The first
Exactly.
time I saw this film in theaters, just a lot of his quips. He makes too many quips.
Exactly.
Captain America, God's greatest man, pretending you can live without. Clearly, you've never made an omelet. But
Pinocchio stuff, like there are no strings on me.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
love
that was the stuff that was actually kind of like menacing and creepy, and then he's joking like half the time when he's in the
Yes.
actual movie.
can someone tell me
Yeah.
how much freaking time? How the fuck did he get two things on the bottom of Sokovia so he could rise it up and
Yeah.
freaking boom?
Yeah.
That didn't make any
Oh.
sense to me. He could.
Me neither. Me
Maybe
neither.
Magic.
But yeah. And also when Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they become heroes at the end, turning on Ultron, just find out how crazy he is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that I like the Sokovia battle at the end, even though there's so much destruction. I
Yeah,
thought it
plus
was
the-
really entertaining.
Plus the beginning battle in the snow was really cool when they were all in the snow and Strucker and all that.
Yeah.
I thought the
Wasn't it cool?
chemistry.
But it's the Avengers.
It's the Avengers, but I thought the chemistry was better in this film than the first movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. Definitely.
You can see more conflict in between the members as well, which leads into Civil War.
Mhm. Pretty much.
Yeah,
Then we see Black Widow change her hair again. Like, what the fuck?
she was pregnant in this movie. But guys, we got to talk about the Hulkbuster scene. Oh my god!
Oh yeah. Go to sleep. Go
Oh,
to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go sleep. Go
That was
Yeah, that was funny.
ridiculous.
Listen, that little witch has got you controlled. and then he's like, and then the Hulk spits, and he's like, sorry.
I was just laughing. I just remember laughing my ass off at that scene in the theater. Just like I said, like the go to sleep, as he's like punching him into the earth.
Yeah, that doesn't work on Hulk. That literally doesn't work on Hulk.
Nah. Well,
That just calmed the Hulk down.
Well, yeah, he had to like get new parts from space.
Like Jesus Christ, they took down a freaking skyscraper.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, Cody, what are people talking about with Age of Ultron?
Yeah, some mixed, but also some good thoughts on it. Age of Ultron wasn't as good as the first. Sammy says it's a damn great movie. Devin Pilgrim says he likes Age of Ultron from the start. He thinks he is alone on that opinion. But Patrick says he loved Age of Ultron. I know I'm alone there, but that's the truth. Quicksilver, Vision, and Ultron were underdeveloped. I didn't like Hulk and Widow together. It was too out of nowhere, and I felt the chemistry wasn't there.
Yeah, that's true.
And Devin,
I thought
says,
it was kind of out there.
Devin said, speaking of the "Hey there, big guy" line, how the hell did Thor know that Natasha said that to Bruce?
I guess he was watching them.
He's a god.
He probably saw. You probably swallowed it.
Master of Gaming has to go. And we'll end end with Christian Ruiz's comment here. I love Age of Ultron, but I don't like the romance of Widow and Banner. And the scenes in Sokovia when Iron Man rescues a family was it necessary to show that?
Get in the tub.
Yeah. Also, we see Thanos in this saying like,
fine, I'll do this myself.
Fine,
So,
I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
what does he mean by that? What did he mean? Like,
Well, he's not doing it by himself because he's come with the Black Order. But
it's taken him 3 years to do it himself. What the fuck?
yeah, he's very
Tell
slow.
him, like,
Get off your fucking
like,
ass.
did someone
and do
tell him something about what happened on Earth? Did someone
knows?
tell him like what happened on Earth?
Maybe it was the Watchers
The Watchers.
Yeah,
with Stanley.
and people are saying Ultron set up everything for Thanos to come to Earth. People are saying that he was the one that set up everything for Thanos to come to Earth.
Screw Ultron.
But, yeah.
Until Vision blows him up. I was born yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some pretty opinions on Age of Ultron. All right, so since we talked about Age of Ultron, let's go to another MCU film that came out in 2015. Probably definitely the biggest risk for Marvel, but they pulled it off after so many production issues.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, not directed by Edgar Wright, directed by Peyton Reed.
He got a writer's credit at least.
He did get a writer's
credit.
Yeah, Ant-Man, I freaking love this film. But let's start with Amari. What did you think, man?
Actually, it was pretty solid. I love all the voiceovers Michael Pena had when he was voicing the other the other people in the movie.
Yeah, that was so Edgar Wright influenced.
Yeah, and where I'm trying to remember the main character's name. I'm trying to remember. It's on
Scott Lang.
I didn't know if you were talking about.
Scott. Scott.
Scott Lang.
Yeah, it's Scott. Yeah, I liked when at the end of the scene where Hanks catches him and Hope kissing. He was like, "Scott, you're full of shit.
Just shoot me now. Shoot me again."
Yeah, and I love the cameo that Falcon has.
Yeah.
He was probably the cheapest one available that they could get for Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Sorry, man, but you seem like a nice guy. But this is definitely one of the funniest MCU films to date.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we also see Ant-Man save his daughter and everything. That proves he's a real girl. Yeah, for sure.
But entirely,
be a part of
the the Wasp.
Yeah, the Wasp too.
But Tyler, what did you think of Ant-Man?
I actually enjoyed Ant-Man overall. I mean, it doesn't have one of the better villains because Yellow Jacket, Corstoll. I like Corstoll as an actor. He's not in a lot of things. Well, he's in a good amount of things that are well known, but he doesn't have very big parts. So this is his biggest role probably that I've seen him in. And he was okay, but he wasn't anything special. He was kind of just going crazy the whole time because he was taking the serums or whatever. But I like the stuff they did with Scott Lang. I like the whole bank heisty kind of vibe they had for this movie because he's not a straight-laced nice guy. He's actually a pretty horrible person. Gets in fights and goes to jail and all that. And he steals the suit. He steals the Ant-Man suit. It's not like he made it or he bought it. He stole the Ant-Man suit. It's not like he was a nice person. And it was kind of cool seeing Hank Pym kind of be the mentor role because most people know Hank Pym as Ant-Man, which he was Ant-Man just in the past, but then maybe they haven't really touched upon that very much. But I liked it overall. Between that and Ant-Man's made his ant friend that he made, and he had to learn all the stuff from the Wasp, and even though she was obviously much better than everything that he did, but she was on the sideline for this one. But definitely one of the more funny movies. Michael Pena was definitely really funny in this. And you could definitely see the Edgar Wright influences if you watch any of Edgar Wright's films, especially Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz and all the quick cuts with the humor and all that. That was as I was watching that in the theaters, like that's definitely the Edgar Wright stuff. All these like different quick, fast cuts and all this crazy stuff with the comedy. Like that's Edgar Wright stuff.
Mhm.
That's not Peyton Reed. That's Edgar Wright.
Fine, crazy, stupid, fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of the funniest MCU films. I mean, all the jokes in this movie pretty much land. I love the Thomas the Tank Engine scene. So freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
And I'm also on the same boat as Tyler. I didn't the Yellow Jacket. He's okay. I mean, with the story, he's Obadiah Stane from Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically trying to get the suit. He's jealous of Hank Pym, and so he creates his own Yellow Jacket suit. And Corey Stoll's a good actor, but just his character could have been better. And I love Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. I love the opening scene, seeing young CGI Michael Douglas.
That was creepy.
Yeah, that whole scene was really good. And I also just really loved the Baskin Robbins scene with hi, welcome to Baskin Robbins.
Oh, yeah.
Mango fruit bath.
Yes.
If you want to take a mango fruit bath out the door, I'll pretend I didn't see it.
Yeah, that was one of the funnier scenes. But I think one of my favorite scenes, small moments from Ant-Man was when he's learning how to use all the Ant-Man powers, and he kept trying to shrink his way. He had to get a running start and try and shrink through the keyhole in the door. He failed. And he failed like 500 times trying to get through the keyhole.
Yeah, that scene was hilarious.
Yeah.
He still didn't get it.
He still didn't go through. And this is awesome. You guys are just building bond. I'm going to go make some tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael Pena also is just hilarious. T.I. was also in the movie.
Yeah, that was another weird one I always forget about.
But yeah, and also just seeing the quantum realm stuff, him going into the time hole or whatever thing is.
Shrinking forever.
Yeah, shrinking forever. And he's stuck in that whole thing, and somehow he had a thing to get himself back to present day.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Yellow Jacket doesn't.
Poor him, he's stuck there.
Yeah.
But
for now.
Yeah, Ant-Man's awesome movie. But Cody.
Yeah, we got a couple of comments in here about Ant-Man. People are saying it's hilarious. I was surprised to see Paul Rudd give somewhat of a dramatic performance. And they love the Baskin-Robbins scene as well. Devin said he needs to rewatch this one. He fell asleep the first time, but that's because he was tired.
Oh my God, Devin.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Sammy says it was hilarious. And Patrick and Devin bring up good points. How awesome would it be if Edgar Wright directed Ant-Man or any other Marvel movie? Devin suggested Guardians 3. Edgar Wright?
Well, I mean, I think James Gunn's doing that, but I mean, if for some reason he leaves, I guess why not?
I think it'd be cool to see him direct a MCU movie.
I don't feel like he would do an MCU film now just because of the horrible stuff he was trying, because he was working on developing that Ant-Man movie for years, and they kind of just meddled with his vision so much he just quit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then he made Baby Driver, so it all worked out.
A better movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the comments on Ant-Man.
All right, that was Ant-Man. All right, next movie, 2016. My favorite MCU film to this day. Captain America Civil War. The hugest comic book movie we've seen until Infinity War.
Yeah, until Infinity War.
Until Infinity War. Best Captain America movie to this date. It's so freaking fantastic. Yeah. But we'll start with Tyler on this one. Tyler?
Civil War is just a great film especially if you're a comic book fan, just because it's not entirely the same as the actual Civil War comic, because, Captain America died in that, but, and there's a lot more heroes but I really enjoyed Civil War for what it was. It was awesome that, first appearances for Black Panther, they got Spider-Man in it for a little bit, just for a little tease until Homecoming. You could see, the conflict, the split down the middle between the teams, because they all, one team felt one way about the Sokovia Accords, and one team obviously disagreed about the whole registering. And it was nice to see the whole balance of that, and the stuff with Baron Zemo was okay. He's supposed to be the villain behind everything, but I didn't really like Baron Zemo that much. I like Daniel Bruhl as an actor, but Baron Zemo is a lot better in the comics. Most of the material, I mean, he looks more dumb in the comics. I mean, that's fair at least. But I really liked Civil War overall, especially just the scene in the airport scene alone and the final fight scene are just probably still two of my favorite fight scenes in all the MCU, actually.
Yes. Amari?
Mm-hmm. To agree with Tyrone on this one. This was actually a pretty decent movie. I'm actually on Team Cap. To be honest, I'm Team Cap all the way.
Everyone, put your teams down below.
Team
down
Cap,
below.
Team Cap or Team Iron Man.
Team Cap.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Airplane fight scene, especially like with Ant-Man turning into Giant Man.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. And Falcon
especially War Machine's reaction.
Yeah. And I love how
Tiny Dude's big now. Tiny Dude's big now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how Falcon calls him Tic Tac. And there was this one scene.
Way to go, Tic Tac.
There was this one scene with the lady, one of Black Panther's servants, where she was talking.
Move or be moved.
Yeah, she was like, move.
Or be moved.
Then, yeah.
Why wasn't it Okoye? Why wasn't it Okoye?
Yeah.
That was not Okoye. Yeah, I think
Okoye.
that was a threat. Yeah,
I
that
would
was
say
probably
so.
a threat.
Do not mess with the Dormal. Do not mess with the Dormalage.
Yeah, they're freaking badasses.
Yeah, but all in all, I loved how Spider-Man was introduced, and that one ending.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland is actually a year younger than me. I just looked up his age. He's actually a year younger than me.
I'm older than him by a year, 22.
Yeah, he's like the first person to play Spider-Man that's not like 30 years old.
Yeah.
They're all like every other Spider-Man.
Every Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield.
30 years old.
Yeah, both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were like pushing 30 when their movies were out. And
I just didn't buy them as high schoolers at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And I loved at the ending where Tony said, "You don't deserve that shield." Then
my dad made the shield.
I was like, why'd you drop the shield?
They friggin' destroyed him. They friggin' destroyed him in that end scene.
Destroyed his arc reactor.
Yes.
Yeah, that too. It's just like they're flipping the shield around between Bucky and him. That was insane.
That fight was just intense.
Is anyone here by? I love Ryan said earlier. I love Stan Lee's cameo.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking for a
Tony Stank.
Tony Stank.
This is Tony Stank.
There was a lot of good humor in that. But just even the small jokes in that movie are really funny. Just between stuff like Tony Stank and even the stuff they showed in the trailers where Bucky went to punch Spider-Man and he grabbed it and he's like, "You have a metal arm?"
That is awesome, dude.
I still think one of my favorites though.
Silent.
one of my favorites still though was during the airport scene where they finally cut over and it's Hawkeye fighting Black Panther. It's like, we haven't been properly introduced yet. I'm Clint. I don't care. Yeah.
Talk about Black Panther real quick.
Yeah.
Move, Captain. I won't move this time.
Yeah. I don't care.
I don't care.
That and was it War Machine when they throw that truck at War Machine? He's just like, "Oh, come on!
Oh, come on!" I thought it was a water truck. And then Ant-Man goes in Iron Man suit. We don't talk these days.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm in for a treat.
And then when Spider-Man's fighting Cap and all that, he said to go for your legs.
Yeah.
And this is from Brooklyn and all. And then when Spider-Man swings across Giant Man, it's like, have you guys seen that one movie, Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah, the giant walker thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pop culture reference.
What I love.
Yeah. Well, especially since Disney owns both of them.
Yeah, true.
But a couple.
And what else we can say? Yeah, and I love at the end credit scene with Black Panther, where finally I was saying, "Let me get a Black Panther Panther movie. I was like, thank you. We'll
Where's
finally
Shuri,
see.
though?
Yeah, wasn't
Yeah.
cast yet.
Wakanda. We saw Wakanda. Let them
Yes.
try. But yeah, we got to talk about Zemo. I think Zemo's the most underrated MCU villain to this date. Because here's the thing with Zemo.
Yeah.
Zemo was in a good amount of scenes in the film, but he's just a man. He's a man who lost his entire family in the Sokovia battle.
Yeah,
And he's just a guy out for revenge. And
Yeah.
he doesn't want to fight the Avengers at all. He has no superpowers. And his number one goal was just to rip them apart. And he does that in this film. He's the only MCU villain that succeeds in his plan. And he took out half of the team by just having them fight each other almost to death. And just his plan overall, it worked. I mean, he killed King T'Chaka also, framing the Winter Soldier. I mean, Bucky. I feel so freaking bad for Bucky in this movie. Many people trying to kill him. Black Panther and Tony and all that. And freaking the Winter and Bucky was framed as the one for killing Tony's parents. Martha! Yeah, both BVS and Civil War have mommy problems and all that.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, what was your guys' reactions when you found that, seeing all that stuff go down? Tyler?
Oh my god!
With Winter
When you
Soldier
guys,
killing-
when you found out Winter Soldier was framed for killing Tony's parents.
That wouldn't.
Oh my! I was like, I was shocked. I was like, what?
Well, it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Well, Hydra was in his brain for sure.
Well, say he had to
Yeah,
do something.
that was like.
He had to do something for the last like 60 years. Say because I mean, after he just fell off the train, I mean, he was brainwashed for like 60 years. He had to do something, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
Zola captures him. And...
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't in control of his actions, so he didn't know.
Well, yeah, I was say it wasn't technically his fault.
But yeah, I just love the scenes.
Yeah, but all in all, I think Tony and the others will just bury the hatchet.
And the final scene, and Cap just breaks them all out of prison at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Well, yeah,
But
they're all out for Infinity War, so it makes sense.
But yeah, Civil War seems like everyone's talking about it. What about you, Cody? What's everyone talking?
Yeah, definitely. We've had comments like the best MCU film. It's great to see Spider-Man escape the clutches of the evil Spider-Man franchise.
That's fair, I guess.
Someone agreed with you. Ryan Zemo is the most underrated MCU villain. And Patrick said, I didn't hate Zemo. I just didn't feel like he needed to be there.
Yeah,
So,
I can
I
see
agree.
where you're coming from.
Yeah, he did not. Yeah.
But yeah, mostly positive things
Exactly.
about Civil War. Sounds like I'm in for a treat when I watch this one too.
Oh yeah, that's one of the ones that's on Netflix.
Okay, good to know.
That and Guardians 2.
Yep. Which I've seen also.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good then.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's what seems like everyone's talking with Civil War. So Civil War is that. And the other 2016 Marvel movie we got is Doctor Strange, directed by
Yes,
Scott
I love
Derrickson,
that.
starring Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange.
Oh, we're using our made up names.
Oh, we're using our made-up names. I am Spider-Man. Yeah, Doctor Strange. I enjoyed this movie, but I got some opinions on this one. But Amari, take it away. What were your thoughts on Doctor Strange?
I have to say I loved it. It explored like the mystical side of the MCU.
Magic.
And so much more.
Magic.
Yeah, and I love the one scene with Long listening to Beyonce and to Stephen Strange
That was
where he asked he could take the books. He was like, "Come on, just." He was like, "No," and he just took it. He just took the book right in front of him. And I loved how we also see another Infinity Stone, the Time Stone. I don't know.
Yeah, the Eye of Agamotto.
The Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, and we get to see Thor at the end credit scenes too.
Yeah.
We get to see him.
The scene in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and what else I loved is we get to see Dormammu And
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
yes, and also the other main villain. Yeah, the other main villain. He was okay, but he just didn't really seem that enjoyable.
I was gonna say I completely forget the name of Mad Mikkelsen's villain.
His name is Caecilius.
I was gonna say now I think of it, I don't remember his name at all. I just know it's Mad Mikkelsen.
Yes.
No, I just know it's Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not one of his more memorable roles.
Definitely not.
Yes.
Very, very true. Very forgettable villain.
Tyler?
I mean, I'm more biased just because I'm a really big Benedict Cumberbatch fan myself, but I still really enjoyed the film, even if it wasn't. I probably would have enjoyed the film even if it wasn't Benedict Cumberbatch. I really like Doctor Strange as a character. He's pretty interesting. I mean, if you look into his backstory and all that, it's pretty interesting in the comics. And I mean, the magic first time they've done magic in the MCU, which is really cool. And not only that, but I mean, Rachel McAdams wasn't that bad as like a love interest because I mean, it's weird though in a way how Doctor Strange and Iron Man, how they kind of are very similar in personalities, and then they kind of have an accident. Yeah, they have an accident, and they are pretty much exactly the same in a lot of aspects. Just because like they have the accident, they have to go through their whole period of learning all their gadgets and all their magic and all that, and then they kind of become like a hero in the end. And I mean, the villains are completely forgettable, but it's cool. All the visuals in the movie with all the crazy buildings going out of different people running down like buildings sideways and all these crazy action scenes. And the stuff with Dormammu was all right too, even though Dormammu was a little weird at the end. Because I mean, I'm used to Dormammu from the comics, and he looked completely different in the movie. But that's just me nitpicking. But I overall liked the film. I mean, I don't know when we're ever going to get a sequel because you never know what the next stuff in the next phase is when they're actually going to get around to a sequel because there's so many films. But I hope they explore that. Also, what's his face? Mordo. Baron Mordo. He was really good in this.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, even though it was so obvious he was going to turn. I mean, I was going to say he's going to turn heel like in wrestling, but he basically turned heel because as he does in the comic book. So it was only a matter of time before he did. And Benedict Wong was really good too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Doctor Strange.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But, I'm on the different side. I think this movie's overrated. I found it okay, but I didn't connect with Doctor Strange mainly as a character. I mean, he's great. I love Benedict Cumberbatch in the role, but I just found like the formula and the humor to be kind of off with this movie a little bit.
Oh yeah, the stuff with the robe was ridiculous.
Yeah, but the robe, the formula really shows in this movie.
Yeah,
and he's a cocky, arrogant prick, just like Tony Stark and Thor.
Yeah,
it's a similar origin story and all that. And the villain was forgettable, Caecilius.
Extremely forgettable. Like I could not remember his name for the life of me.
I thought he was a total ass to Rachel McAdams' character in the first half.
Yeah,
and once we get to the ancient one, played by Tilda Swinton, I thought she was really good in the movie. Yeah. And once we get to the mystic arts and all that, I really enjoyed the movie from there on. Like, I love the visual effects in this movie as well. There's the best visual effects to this date. All the Inception, the city, world-bending stuff was amazing in that. Really different type of action sequences, them fighting on the walls like in Inception and all that.
And they were getting pushed. They were getting pushed through like portals and stuff too.
Yeah, why didn't Christopher Nolan direct this movie? I mean,
but they threw that one person was like in a portal like all the way in like the desert or whatever, and they just closed it.
And the Doctor Strange freaking closed it. Like
left him there.
I like the scene where he has to learn how to do this. He can't with his fingers, and then the Ancient One puts him in Antarctica, like good luck storm and all that, and he did it himself. And
so mean.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Wong laughing. Can we please talk about Wong laughing at the end of the scene?
Yes.
I was just cracking after that.
I was crying. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he laughed. I was like,
it's impossible to make him laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah. And anything else I'm really missing? And Stan Lee's cameo was awesome. Him in a bus reading a comic book.
And then they teased Mordo turning heel at the end, which was obvious.
Seems like Mordo
kind of,
will be the villain in Doctor Strange too.
He took that guy's ability to like walk.
I was
Jeez.
like, why would he do that?
Because he can.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
He's like, I see the problem. Many stores.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, overall, Doctor Strange, I found it okay, enjoyable, but not one of my favorites. One of the more, it's got like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's way too high, I think. But it's definitely enjoyable from a lot of parts, but just I find it one of the more overrated MCU films. But anyway, Cody, what are people talking about?
Yeah, we have Devin agreeing with you, Tyler. Benedict Cumberbatch is one of his favorite actors working today. Doctor Strange is so underrated. I love the action, concept, FX, comedy, and style. I wish Steven was more likable so we could fully sympathize with him. Best visual effects in the MCU, Sammy says.
Yeah.
I think this is a movie to see in 3D because it was so badass.
It was really good in 3D.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
It's made to be seen in 3D.
It hurts your eyes though, with all the crazy stuff going on.
And Patrick ended it with, I also wish the training montages were a bit longer so that we could see him progress as a sorcerer.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely rushed through that for sure.
But yeah, that's all the comments for Doctor Strange.
All right, we talked about Doctor Strange. Now let's talk about the 2017 MCU movies. Starting off here with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with James Gunn back in the director's chair.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yes, Cody can talk about it.
Yeah.
And this is also one of the more controversial MCU movies. People love it. Some people think it's better than the first movie. I disagree.
Me
completely.
too. Me too.
What? Wow. The first one is so much better. But we'll talk all about our thoughts. Cody, why don't you start this off, buddy?
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm happy to start off, and I think I'm in the minority. I like this one more than the first one. For me personally, I just thought this was more of an entertaining story. I felt there was never a dull moment. I think, oh man, the new characters they introduced. I don't like Mantis. I can say that she was kind of an interesting character.
She's a weird one.
Kind of made Drax fall for me in this movie too.
My nipples.
I have famously huge turds.
I just lost it. I was like, my nipples.
Don't get me wrong. I love the first Guardian. I love the first Guardians, but I don't know. For me, I found myself laughing and enjoying myself more after this one. Nothing wrong with the first one, but I love this one more. It's just me.
All right, Tyler, you're also a one who liked this one better than the first. What did you think?
Oh, actually, no. I liked the original more than this.
Dang it! Okay.
But yeah, I was agreeing with you.
Tyler, Guardians 2.
But either way, I still thought it was a good movie as it was. I mean, it built upon, the original Guardians of the Galaxy fine. I mean, Ego the Living Planet was a little weird. I mean, well, it was weird when they announced I was going to be the main, villain antagonist for this, and I was thinking, how are they going to make a whole entire planet a villain? And then he's also Star-Lord's dad. And then they explained it well enough in the movie. Some of the jokes were a little bit too out of the ordinary for an MCU film, because some of them were a little bit out of the ordinary for an MCU film. But I mean, overall, it was fine. Some of the stuff with Mantis and Drax is a little dumb, but I mean, I liked it overall. Yeah. Overall, it was fine. I mean, it was nice to see more of development with Gamora and Nebula, because they're supposed to be like estranged.
Yes, I agree.
They're estranged sisters, and they kind of have like she is kind of like captured for most of the movie, and you got Yondu's. Yondu had a lot of character development in this one too.
Oh yes, he did.
I'm Mary
Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, and what else can I think about? I mean, the stuff with Star-Lord reconnecting with his dad was good until the twist, anyways. Well, it wasn't bad after the twist. It was just like
we talk about the Sovereign.
But yeah, I mean, overall I thought it was good. I didn't think it was as good as the original, but it was still a pretty good film. Yeah. And the soundtrack was also good. I still think the soundtrack for the original was better, but I still like the soundtrack for both these films. James Gunn definitely has done pretty well with the Guardians film so far.
And Amari, what did you think, man?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I love like some of the baby Groot scenes, like especially at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
He's so
baby,
adorable.
baby
He's
Groot.
so adorable.
Yes, yes, he is. And
He took my
also,
socks.
yeah, and I loved how like when Nebula was asking for like some of that fruit, I don't know what it was, and she was like, and Gamora and Drax were like, "It's not ripe yet." Then like where
It's
she
not
shot
right
Yondu,
yet.
yeah, and when she shot Yondu, like it's not ripe yet.
Yeah.
I was laughing at
Completely taken off his
yeah.
I forgot to mention
Yes.
Taserface as well.
taser face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Moment like near the end of the movie, like Yondu dying, I was literally crying my eyes
Oh
out.
yeah,
That was one of the
He
most
froze.
touching
He froze
moments.
like Princess Leia did in Last Jedi.
Why didn't he just use
Yeah,
the Force?
Yeah, he didn't like Mary Poppins his way out of out of space like
He
she
did
did.
Mary Poppins. It would have been so
One line
cheesy.
where he said he might have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your
Yeah.
daddy. Yeah.
Oh, what
That
about
was
the
like-
other?
Daddy.
What about the other Guardians team with Sylvester Stallone and Miley Cyrus and all of them?
Wait, Miley Cyrus was in this?
Miley Cyrus was the robot with the head of the robot.
I didn't know that. What?
Yeah, me neither. What the heck?
Wow, I did not
I
know
didn't-
that.
I'll have to go back and watch that now.
But yeah, Sylvester
Yeah.
Stallone. Yeah, Stallone and Kurt Russell of the Tango and Cash days is back.
Yeah.
Stallone will probably be more in Guardians 3, but
Probably.
yeah.
Hopefully he's in it more, and they finally actually introduce Adam Warlock.
Right.
Yeah, Adam Warlock. But yeah, when I first saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I really loved it. I gave it a 4.5, but constant rewatches, I liked it less. I saw like, okay, this is definitely not better than the first film. Just the humor didn't really get to me the second time I watched it. I kind of felt like Drax just didn't get any development. He was just
My nipples.
I have famously huge turds.
My nipples.
Yeah.
We didn't see. He wasn't Drax the Destroyer. He didn't kick any ass in this movie at all.
He had
Yeah,
that
he
scene in the
did.
beginning fighting that monster where he's stabbing his way out.
He was like, "Ah!"
Drax.
Yes!
I was like,
Yes!
Then Baby Groot just threw a rock at him. He's like, what?
I really hope he
Move
destroys somebody
famously
in Infinity
biggest.
War.
And then he also said, "Move, you biggest!" And she's Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stuff with
and there was
some of the stuff with
one
Mantis was good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one scene with Rocket where him and Peter were arguing. Rocket was like, "Don't call me a raccoon." He was like, "I'm sorry, trash thing."
Yeah.
Rocket was like,
Is it worse?
Is that worse?
It's so much worse.
"Why
You
you
don't
do-"
want to.
Yeah, and that whole action scene with Aisha and all that was all Rocket's fault for stealing.
I know.
Pull
Yeah.
some freaking
Yeah,
bad.
he was an ass.
Those people that look
Why-
like Academy
Why
Awards.
why would you be stupid enough to steal batteries? I was like, Rocket, why would you do that? Are you that stupid? They just gave you money. They gave you money for paying for
Yeah.
that monster.
I don't
was
blame them
ridiculous.
for.
Yeah, then we
coming
get
after them.
to the. Yeah, but honestly, guys, we see actually connect, and like they both have like in a different way. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Sympathizing with. Yeah, so I could actually relate to both. We can actually still like.
I thought Kurt Russell was really good as Ego, just finding out that
Yeah.
he's the one that killed Star-Lord's mother.
Put that tumor in her
It
head.
broke my heart to put the tumor in her head. And
It's like you
I was
what?
like, what?
you killed my mother! And then he freaking turns into David Hasselhoff. I'm like, what
That-
the fuck?
Oh yeah.
I died when that happened.
Yes.
Hey,
yeah.
hey, Jew! And yeah, it just shows how messed up Ego was completely. And you're thinking to yourself, is this guy who he says he is? He's probably the bad guy, and he is.
Oh, I thought of another one. I thought of another favorite moment with Drax. He was like, "Do you have a penis?" Dude.
Oh
And I
yeah,
was
because
like-
it's a planet.
Yeah. How could he make a baby with your mother? He would crush her.
Can I talk
Yeah,
about
this
another
movie
thing?
had penis and penis.
I want to talk about another
and-
quick thing.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that they are not shoving a Star-Lord and Gamora relationship down our throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
Amari disagrees.
I'm glad they're not. It's like there, but it's not.
Star-Lord and Gamora being together. I can see.
I agree with Cody.
Sorry, everyone.
And Teenage Groot was at the end of the film.
Now I know how Yondu feels. Clean up your vines. That's boring. And then Stanley's cameo with him and the Watchers.
Yeah, that was an interesting.
Sorry, as I was brutally interrupted. I was a Federal Express man.
Yeah, he was just chilling out in space with the Watchers in a spacesuit.
Wait, you guys were supposed to be my lift home.
Yeah.
And they just left him there.
Yeah.
He's freaking Stan Lee. He's the Watcher, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but Cody, what are people talking about with Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yeah, we got a couple of mixed opinions on it. I liked Guardians 2. Wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. Patrick says Guardians 2 is fine. A lot of the humor felt forced, particularly in the scene where they're crash landing and they're just still telling jokes. But I did like where they took Star-Lord and Gamora's characters. Devin said, I'm alone in my opinion. Yes, I know, and I'm happy to be alone in my opinion.
Okay.
And Patrick said, I didn't cry at Yondu's death. Just putting that out there. So,
wow.
One of the few MCU people that have actually died.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Guardians is not afraid to kill people.
Yeah, for now.
Drax the comedian, and then Movie Mania Nick is here. So,
hey, what's up, Nick? Thanks for tuning in, man.
Hey, Nick.
But yeah, that's the Volume 2 thoughts.
My nipples.
My nipples. All right. All right, so our next film in 2017 was Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man's the
Steelbooks.
Yeah, the transition for Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And John Watts directed this movie. He directed Cop Car, and so this had a pretty good cast in it. And then I pretty much enjoyed the movie overall. I did have some opinions on it for sure. But Amari, what did you think of Spider-Man Homecoming, man?
I actually love some parts. I love the moment where Tony Stark is actually being a mentor / big brother to Peter, telling him what to do and what not to do, always stay on the ground and everything. Then there was this one line, if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it. And also,
which is BS.
Yeah. Then Tony wanted to make him an official Avenger, but Peter turned it down. Why? I don't know. You should have just took the suit.
He thought it was a test.
He thought it was a test, yeah.
Yeah, he did. And also, what else is that I love Zendaya's role in this movie. Like, she was just creeping on Peter and everything. And his best friend, Ned, when he was in the room.
I'm looking at porn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, when he was in Peter's room, he just dropped the Death Star. I was like, now he knows. Now he knows. He's going to have to keep it a secret.
Another Disney
He's gonna have to tell him
putting their other properties and other films that they own.
Yeah. And the Sony product placement.
Yeah. Very true.
But yeah, Tyler, what did you think of Spider-Man Homecoming?
I mean, as a lifelong huge fan of Spider-Man, I thought it was fine. I mean, it's nice. It's nice that they brought back, Spider-Man to the MCU. So now that he can actually be in the MCU, which is nice. It was a nice launch pad for him in his little cameo in Civil War. Now he's got his own movie and his own problems in high school and all that, and his little clique of friends that he has throughout the movie between Ned and Zendaya as Michelle or MJ at the they reveal at the end.
Yeah.
But I think overall it was nice. I mean, I have gotten kind of grown tired of the whole origin story kind of feel for Spider-Man because I've seen 3 of them now over the last 15. I mean, it wasn't really like an origin story. I mean, he had the powers and all that, so they skipped the actual part of the origin story, but he obviously doesn't know what the hell he's doing. because he's still learning to be Spider-Man. But I mean, the villain aspect, it was probably one of the better MCU villains because Michael Keaton's a really great actor, and they made the Vulture. They made the Vulture actually pretty cool. I mean, if you go back, if you base the Vulture off of the costume from the comics, it would have looked completely ridiculous if they made that in the live action. Because they would have lost me there if they had not updated that. And I think one of the aspects I really didn't like though was the Shocker, because the Shocker seemed like a really big waste in the film. Well, between the two people that played him, because I mean, Bokeem Woodbine and I forget the other guy's name, but he's that guy that I always mistake for Tom Hardy. Because he's in Devil in that upcoming Blumhouse film. I forget what. I mean, that's coming out in a couple months. But yeah, Shocker was a big waste. Ned was okay. I mean, Flash Thompson is completely different than he's supposed to be. But I mean, he's not in the movie that much for me to actually dislike him or anything. But I mean, overall, it was a fine MCU outing for Spider-Man. I mean, there's a couple Spider-Man movies I'd probably put over this, and if I did a ranking, but it's not a bad film at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And Cody, you saw Spider-Man: Homecoming. What were your thoughts?
I sure did. Now, if I remember, this came out in the summer last year, right?
Yeah, it did. Yes.
Yeah. For me, I enjoyed it. It was during the summertime, and of course, I grew up with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, so I was really excited for this movie. And I think I'm with Tyler. It was fun. It was fine. Obviously, I'd have the Sam Raimis over this movie just because I grew up with those movies and I love them.
Yeah, at least two of them.
Yeah, at least two of them. Maybe Homecoming could be before 3, Spider-Man 3. Yeah. But no, I love this movie. I think it's fun. I think Tom Holland I think the more I think about it, I love Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. The more I think about it, I don't know. I go back and forth between Holland and Parker every day as who played it better, but it was a fun movie.
It's weird comparing all of the people that have played Spider-Man because it's one of those things because it's like I liked Spider-Man a lot as Andrew. I liked Spider-Man Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but I didn't like his Peter Parker that much.
Yeah.
Whereas I liked Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker and Spider-Man, but I prefer Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, and Tom Holland's kind of like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, my thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming, watching it more and more, it's okay, it's acceptable. I enjoyed the movie overall. My favorite part was definitely Michael Keaton as the Vulture. He's a villain we haven't seen before, just a normal guy who's trying to fend for his family. And you find out that he's Liz's father. I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah, I figured he was either going to be her father or Michelle Zendaya's character's father.
Oh, okay.
MJ's father.
Yeah, Michelle, MJ, whatever.
Freaking MJ, really? But the Vulture was awesome. Michael Keaton just owns any role he's in. Tom Holland is my favorite iteration of Spider-Man, but Peter Parker, I go with Tobey Maguire. I just love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He's more clips, and he just resembles Spider-Man from the comics completely. Yeah. And I love the kid. I love Ned. Ned's absolutely hilarious. I mean, I'm looking at porn.
Yes, he is.
But I hated Flash Thompson as well.
He was
Tony Revolori. He was in the Grand Budapest Hotel. He was great in that movie. But that Flash Thompson was just
Flash was just a jerk.
Penis Parker, really? I said penis, you said Parker.
It's weird though, looking back when you think about the expanded universe if you look at the Rogues Gallery for the MCU and Marvel, I mean, because Ned Leeds in the comics ends up going to become the Hobgoblin. So it's weird when they said his best friend's gonna be Ned Leeds. I was like, okay, that's weird. Is he? And then, it was weird. And then they announced this person is gonna be the Hobgoblin. I forget the actor's name, but it's like he doesn't look like someone I could see becoming the Hobgoblin.
Totally not. But yeah, the movie had some good moments for sure. Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, I actually like. Even though it's way younger Aunt May.
Well, that was the thing is there were so many jokes about her trying to get with Tony Stark and a lot of, and then, we get it. Aunt May's hot. It's weird, but we'll accept it.
But the action sequences. I think the action was just played safe. There was no stakes to it. Like the boat sequence was spoiled in the trailers. It gets resolved with Iron Man coming.
Saved the day there.
But yeah, I also loved how this movie didn't have an over-reliance of Tony Stark, like in the marketing. Yeah. Like, he's only in a couple scenes. And Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. just makes a film extremely entertaining. And I also really love the scenes that really showed Spider-Man, like, in different situations. What if he wasn't in a city? He's out in a field. He can't swing his web to fly. He has to run.
Yeah.
Just like...
Well, that was also because they played it up because Ned asked him how far would his web go if he shot it, and then he chases after it.
Oh my god!
And then also the scene where the Vulture drops a ton of rocks on him, and then he has to figure out how to get himself up, and he has to lift himself up, and he's like, ah!
What about when Michael Keaton accidentally killed one of the Shockers?
Oh my god!
I'm the Shocker. I'm the Shocker. I shock people.
Yeah, whoops! You gave him the wrong gun. The guy gave him the wrong gun, so he thought he was just gonna like suspend him and like give him like suspended animation. Then he actually like vaporized him.
And then you also had Donald Glover as potentially Miles Morales' uncle.
Yeah. Oh, and that weird voice. Yeah. The weird voice he came up to him with. The voice modulator.
Interrogation voice. Karen, don't use that interrogation voice.
Yeah, he sounded like Christian Bale, Batman.
Yo, I want to interrogate you.
Yeah, between that and all the different ridiculous features in that suit that he had to learn, insta-kill mode. I want to see him use insta-kill mode. I hope he uses it at some point in Infinity War.
Don't use the kill mode.
He has like a billion settings in that suit, and we barely got to see anything in the actual movie.
Yeah. But anyway, Cody, what are people talking about with Homecoming?
Yeah, lots of different thoughts here. Am I the only guy who thinks Spider-Man Homecoming is the best Spider-Man movie? Wow.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one, man. Some people think that. Yeah. I disagree.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 is still the best Spider-Man movie.
Devin says he hates what they did with MJ and Flash Thompson's character. Let's see. Vulture is the best Spider-Man villain.
I disagree. Doc Ock is still my favorite.
Like in the movies?
Yeah, in the movies.
Vulture would probably be my second favorite. I like him more than Green Goblin.
I like Norman Osborn and Green Goblin.
Vulture is probably my top 3 MCU movie villains.
Spider.
We got Super Jordan reviews in here.
Hey, what's up, Super Jordan?
Hello.
And we got B-Wise as well.
Hey.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, yeah, I prefer They were answering that, prefer Spider-Man 2 being the best. What would you say is the best Marvel trailer besides Infinity War? That's hard.
Trailer? Probably Civil War.
Well, that was
definitely Civil War.
Civil War's teaser trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all the comments for Homecoming.
All right, so we're done with Homecoming, and now we're going to talk about Thor Ragnarok. Copyright. Thor Ragnarok. I freaking love this movie. Directed by Taika Waititi, man. He nailed this movie perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, I have so many different thoughts, but I'll start this one this time. But Thor Ragnarok is an awesome movie. Taika Waititi, he brought his own style into this movie. Like, it totally felt like completely different from the other Thor movies. Chris Hemsworth was so much funnier in this movie. Yeah. Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins, but I love the introductions to the new characters. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie was awesome. Yeah. I love Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster. Yeah. So freaking awesome. Yeah. And Hulk in this movie was awesome and badass. Mark Ruffalo. And one of my favorite characters was Korg.
Yeah.
But hey, guys. Yeah, we're gonna go in that spaceship. You want to come? But, this movie was just flat out funny. Like so many different jokes. And Kate Blanchett as Hela was freaking awesome.
Yeah, we can't forget about Carl Urban.
And Carl Urban, yeah.
Scourge or whatever.
Was a Scourge, yeah. But yeah, Heimdall, Idris Elba, totally awesome. But yeah, let's get your guys' thoughts now. I know Mari loves this movie for sure.
Well, clearly he's wearing the shirt.
Yes, I love this movie so much. There was a lot of epicness in this movie, and I loved how like Thor reacted when he saw Hulk for almost 2 years now. Been almost 2 years, so yeah, and we finally get to see Valkyrie's backstory too, and why she was to help Thor. And what made me upset the most is that those like Ravengers that we saw toward Thor's cape, and Stan Lee, he cut Thor's hair. That was one of the most upsetting things. That was one of the most upsetting
that crazy
things
contraption.
I'm Thor, God, son of Odin. You will not cut my hair.
Yeah.
Yes. We also hear like one of the teenagers that took a picture with Thor say, "Sorry, Jane broke up with you." Like,
Sorry, you and Jane broke up.
Yeah.
She didn't.
Yeah.
Thank
God. Thank God.
I dumped her.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of like a romance. Some people are saying there was like a romance between Thor and Valkyrie, but the directors also.
I didn't see that either.
Yeah, the director confirmed that there's no romance going on between Thor and Valkyrie. There's none whatsoever.
I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, she was like a lesbian, I think.
Yeah, she had like no romantic interest in anybody really.
No, she's alcoholic. She doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, she has alcohol.
Yeah, and also during the battle, during the throne room, we see like her slice Thor. Oh my God! I was like, why? Now they took everything from him. And at the end credit scene, we see Thanos appear. I don't know how they know they were going to be in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
after they blow up Asgard.
Probably the opening scene of the movie.
Probably, honestly.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Explains why he's with the Guardians.
We see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is that everything. I'm hoping gets a new Marvel contract so we can get like a Thor or something, because that's where Taika goes with the Thor. Yeah, so I think that I have to say.
And Tyler?
Definitely enjoyed this one a lot. I actually really enjoyed the humor. It's definitely different compared to the standard Marvel Cinematic Universe humor. I mean, I really enjoyed Taika Waititi a lot. Actually, after the fact, I went and watched a couple of his other films, especially the one I enjoyed was What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire film. That's definitely one I recommend if you like the humor in Thor Ragnarok. But yeah, it definitely changed some things. They cut out everybody as far as Kat Dennings, Stellan Skarsgård, Jane Foster, which was fine. I was fine with them completely. It was actually nice that they cut the baggage of the first two Thor films out of them. Out of it.
Taika Waititi, yeah.
Yeah, and it was nice that they went back to Asgard though, and Loki was they explained what happened kind of at the end of Thor: The Dark World, even though that movie was horrible. That they went back and actually talked about how. Loki was acting like, Loki was shapeshifted as Odin and just living it up, making plays about what happened, and having Matt Damon play him in the play, and the other Chris Hemsworth brother.
Hemsworth.
No, it was one of the Hemsworth brothers.
That was his older brother. That was his older brother.
Yeah, it was the one that was in Westworld.
Oh,
he has another. That's the other brother that nobody really cares about. Like he's an actor, but he's not as well known as Liam or Chris. But he's in Westworld. That's what I remember him from. But yeah, I mean, all the action was this was great. Hela was actually a very good, entertaining villain in the MCU. It's actually one of the more developed ones with a decent backstory. I mean, she makes Thor lose an eye.
Yeah.
Not only that, but makes him lose Mjolnir. So he doesn't
I was shocked.
They got rid of Mjolnir.
Happy.
So that was also pretty ridiculous. That's pretty crazy. So between all that, then he gets like banished and sent to that planet that just so happens to have the Hulk there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I guess just what are the odds? What are the odds you get dumped off on this planet that has the Hulk on it?
The opening scene. The opening scene. Oh, wait till I come back around.
And they killed I guess they're the Warriors 3, even though they act like Sif doesn't exist anymore. So they just killed all 3 of them off real quick. Especially since Zachary Levi, they had to kill Zachary Levi off really quick because he's off to go be Shazam. But but I mean they weren't really important anyways. But overall, I really liked the story for this one. It was nice, the whole overall story with Valkyrie and Jeff Goldblum and all that, and Hela and Thor. Yeah. Thor had to learn to use the lightning since he didn't have the hammer anymore, and Odin had to make that funny quip about like, "Are you Thor, the god of hammers?"
Asgard is not a place; it has never been. Yeah, and then Odin dies.
Yeah, he fades away.
Spoiler alert: Thor.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to
the Doctor Strange stuff was funny too, just because like he sent Loki to like a whole nother dimension, and then when he left,
I've been falling for 30 minutes. But then, Tony, what are people talking about with Thor Ragnarok?
Just a couple of things.
Yeah.
Patrick says Ragnarok was badass. A lot of people hate it because it was too different from the first 2, but that's why I like it so much. Yeah. And CM Guy says, I give this movie a 10 out of 10 Goldblums.
Goldblums.
But yeah, that's about the only comments for Thor Ragnarok.
Jeff Goldblum is pretty good in this. It was nice to see Jeff Goldblum have like not really say a career resurgence, but he's not really been in too many high profile things. I mean, wasn't he in the Independence Day sequel at all?
Independence Day 2, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, he's coming back. Yeah. I mean, he's doing well in this, and he's going to be in the new Jurassic World, for better or for worse.
Yes,
so we'll see how that goes. But
these creatures were here before us. But so everyone seems to really like Thor Ragnarok. And now the only 2018 MCU film, Black Panther. Let's talk about Wakanda. Wakanda. But
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Yeah, Ryan. Cody could talk about it, but. Yeah, I'll start this one as well, but Ryan Coogler directed Black Panther. It had a 98% African-American cast in it. I mean, Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Denai Guerrero, so many others, and Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis were the only white people in the film. But
pretty much.
Black Panther, I freaking love Black Panther. This movie was amazing. From start to finish, I was not bored from this film at once. I just love the world building of Wakanda, seeing this African nation completely shielded from the outside world that's thriving, all the characters, seeing them all together in this African culture. And Chadwick Boseman, he got a lot of hate in this movie. Like, he didn't outshine everybody. But Chadwick Boseman's fantastic in this movie. But I think we can pretty much agree the best performance was Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. He's my favorite MCU villain to this date. I mean, the guy, you only had one movie to develop his character, and I think he's the best MCU villain. He's the most relatable, the most resonant. You can understand where he's coming from, and he's just angry about a lot of things. And Michael B. Jordan just owns the freaking role as Killmonger. I loved Lupita Nyong'o, Denai Guerrero, the women, Letitia Wright as Shuri was such a breakthrough performance. I love Shuri in this movie. Best breakthrough performance this year I've seen. And Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett were awesome. Andy Serkis was awesome as Claw, even though they killed him.
Very, very prematurely.
Man, why does Andy Serkis have to die? Frickin' Snoke.
That was the only thing I didn't like about this movie.
But why would you kill Ulysses Claw? He's such a freaking awesome character. And Martin Freeman doesn't get talked about, too. He was great. Enjoyable, too. But, let's talk about your thoughts on Black Panther now. So we'll start with Tyler.
Well, I mean, you pretty much summed up a lot of my thoughts about the film. I really enjoyed it. Eric Killmonger is definitely one of my favorites in the entire MCU as far as the villains go. I mean, I like Ryan Coogler a lot as a director. I mean, seems like everything he's in has Michael B. Jordan in it, which is kind of seems I mean, I'm not saying I'm tired of Michael B. Jordan, but it would be nice to see him do a film without Michael B. Jordan because he's did Fruitvale Station, Creed, and now this. But yeah, I mean, I like him. You know, I like the movie. I mean, Chadwick Boseman's really good as Black Panther. He built upon his role in Civil War. It was a fun, enjoyable film. Definitely, I feel like he was definitely outshined by everybody else in the cast just because he had such a great supporting cast in the film between Shuri and Killmonger. Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't like he was. It did feel like sometimes he was like a background character in his. Yeah, M'Baku too.
I love M'Baku.
But yeah, it really felt like sometimes he was a background character just between all of them and Daniel Kaluuya. It's just like there were so many great people in this film. It was like hard to actually give a lot of screen time to every single great actor and actress in this. But I mean, it worked out well, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's nice to see that Black Panther is actually getting some love and support because I mean, it's one of those characters that was pretty popular, but not. It was like the same thing with Iron Man. It wasn't like a character that was well known, and then the movies finally gave him a movie, and now he's one of the highest grossing films of all time.
Yeah, the movie's already in the top 10 highest grossing. But one thing with M'Baku, freaking awesome. If you don't shut it, we will feed you to our children. Just kidding, we are vegetarians.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But someone just said that in the comments.
Yeah, I had to say that. But Amari, give us your thoughts on Black Panther.
Well, I actually enjoyed it. This was the first African American film in the MCU, and I was actually on the edge of my seat when I actually saw this. And I love that one line where Shuri said, "What are those?" When she was like,
I rolled my eyes during that scene.
What are those? That's a dead meme.
Yeah, and like Ryan said, and along with Tyler, Michael B. Jordan is actually a pretty good MCU villain in this movie as Killmonger. He actually has a cool film.
Yeah, break out Killmonger now
and
too.
I love M'Baku too. He is actually pretty funny, and sometimes that one role Ryan said where he said he'll feed them to his children, and that he's a bit cracking up to that. I was laughing.
I wish they hadn't killed off Eric Killmonger.
Oh no,
I wish they wouldn't kill them off either, man.
He was like he could have saved them, and he was just like, nah.
Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors who jumped from the oceans.
Yeah, he was like, we have still time. And like, nah, I'll just die.
Nah.
We get to see Bucky at the end credits.
And Bucky at the end. Yeah, we're getting into spoilers, guys.
A little bit.
But,
spoilers.
Yeah, guys. So let's talk about the spoilers in this movie. Let's talk about the combat scenes in this movie. The combat scenes were awesome. I love the first one with M'Baku, but Killmonger freaking throws Black T'Challa off the cliff.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was an intense scene. Like,
is this your king?
Literally, it was.
Is this your king? He's supposed to protect his people. And then he freaking kills Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh yeah,
wow,
Cody. Oh yeah, we forgot Cody's thoughts. Cody, what did you think?
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I'm still here. I love it. All right, you can go ahead.
Is this your favorite MCU film, Cody?
Oh yeah, by far, no question about it. Again, I haven't seen them all, so that could change. But at this moment, yes, without question.
Yeah, yeah. What were your guys' thoughts overall? Just that entire sequence, that second combat with Killmonger and T'Challa. Amari?
I thought that was pretty intense. That was literally the most intense thing I've seen in my life. And Killmonger, he would literally do anything for the turn. He literally would. And I can't believe that he killed Claus. Like, Claus had like a. I'm not gonna lie, say that he literally just rolled.
And then, well, real quickly as well, one character I completely forgot to talk about, Daniel Kaluuya as M'Baku. Another spoiler. The dude freaking betrayed Wakanda. He listened to Killmonger and not T'Challa. Like, when I saw that scene, I was like, dude, you completely betrayed your country. Like right? I know Cody had some opinions on that.
No, yeah, I was like, really? Like, I liked you in Get Out, man. Come on.
Yeah, he was in the sunken place.
Yeah.
His relationship with Okoye.
Yeah, they were against each other.
Would you kill me, love, for my country? Absolutely.
Yeah. that with that and the elephants in that big old battle scene.
I liked her one joke in the beginning. Did he freeze again?
Yeah,
like a deer in the headlights.
What about in that casino when she threw,
like an
when she threw her wig? She threw her wig at that guy in that casino scene.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Just straight up took the wig off and threw it at that guy,
and then stabbed him in the foot.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I remember that.
How about that fight scene? That fight scene in that casino.
Yeah, his claw's weird old mechanized hand and whatnot.
Robot. Yeah. You look like your father.
That was a good
one. But how about Andy Serkis in this role?
Andy Serkis is great in everything.
I can see you. I can see you.
Why does he have to die in everything, though? It seems like several things I've seen him in, he dies.
He probably asked that question. Why do I die in everything?
He's becoming like Sean Bean.
And as Caesar, he died as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Between Planet of the Apes and this and Last Jedi, and
he freaking dies in everything, man.
Yeah, over the last year or so.
Yeah, he does.
Oh well. At least he doesn't have to come back.
But anyway, Cody, what are people talking about with Black Panther?
Not too much about the movie in general, but Devin said a friend of his actually met the actor of M'Baku.
Winston Duke? Oh, that's cool.
Some people are quoting some of the lines. The fight scenes in Black Panther is the Malaysian fight style, which is my country. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
I never freeze. Some hours later, he froze in M'Baku's place.
he literally did freeze.
Why did they pretend that T'Challa was dead when he saw him in the Infinity War trip?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, they had to bring him back, and they brought him back somehow.
But other than that, that's about it for Black Panther in the comments.
All right, we have finished with the movies, guys. Woohoo!
3 hours later.
There are so many movies.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So now let's get to our next topic, gentlemen. Let's talk about the future confirmed MCU movies. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp real quick. Gentlemen, Tyler, are you looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I mean, I guess. I mean, I like the original, and stuff from the trailer I've seen for Ant-Man and the Wasp. It looks fine. I mean, it doesn't look bad at all. I wouldn't say I'm excited for it necessarily, just because it's coming out 2 months before Infinity War, so I can only give so much excitement to one MCU film. So it's got a lot to live up to as being the follow-up to Infinity War. And I think no matter how good the film does, everybody's gonna compare it to Infinity War, which I feel will end up being pretty unfair. But
yeah, true.
But I mean, it looks fine. I mean, I lost it when that freaking Hello Kitty Pez dispenser.
Almost like Thomas the Tank.
Yeah, that Pez dispenser and the chick playing Ghost, the villain in the movie. They gender swapped the villain in this because Ghost's usually predominantly played by a man. But they changed. I like the actress that plays Hannah. I forget their last name, but Hannah something. She's in a lot of the Black Mirror episodes. But she's a pretty good actress. I mean, I'm fine with her and whatever she does with Ghost. I mean, Ghost is a pretty interesting comic book villain. And they finally give the Wasp a costume, so she gets to be in the film. And Michelle Pfeiffer is supposed to play Hank Pym's wife, so which probably means they'll get her out of that zone and get her out of the negative zone or whatever at some point. So there's pros and cons to it. I mean, I can it's only hindered by the fact that Infinity War comes out 2 months prior.
Yeah, Amari.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. We saw a little bit of in the trailer, and I'm a bit I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm hoping like it explains like what happened after the Civil War, or House of Rest and everything. So that means for everyone.
Yeah.
The people who are close. and like this movie, I think, came out before Infinity War because it's only fair. It's only fair because I think I like to see what's going to happen. Wait to see the rest of these actors.
Yeah. All right, Cody, what is the chat looking like?
So that's my thought.
Yeah, not too much about it other than Devin predicts that Ant-Man and the Wasp might be better than the first movie. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's always possible.
It definitely looks more interesting for sure. But
that's about it.
Also, we got Spider-Man: Homecoming 2. What do you guys project the title will be? Tyler?
Spider-Man: Homecoming 2.
Yeah. The second coming.
I really don't know. I have no.
I don't know. I mean, that's one of those movies that could be anything.
Spider-Man Prom Night.
Yeah, I mean, I really have no predictions for it, just because there's no details out for it yet, except for, certain people are returning. They haven't even revealed who the villain is. It's just the only tidbit they've revealed is that Matt Damon turned down the role as the villain. That's kind of the only tidbit they've given.
Yeah, I was shocked about that too.
I was gonna say that's the only thing you really know about it, and like who one of those things was like, who was Matt Damon going to be? Who would he have been as the villain? I figured. Well, I mean, obviously that means they're probably not going to go with Scorpion being the central antagonist for the sequel, because they kind of set it up at the end for him to actually be in the movie at least. Yeah, but, I mean, it means hopefully they don't go the route with Green Goblin again. I mean, because I'm tired of seeing the Green Goblin in every single Spider-Man iteration.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I mean, there's so many Spider-Man villains in this rogues gallery, and we seem to always get Green Goblin and I guess technically Venom too, even though that movie's kind of separate, but not really. But it might be. It's one of those confusing situations.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about our next movie here. But Black Panther 2. All right, Amari, what are your expectations for Black Panther 2?
Well, I know it's definitely going to take place, or there's probably going to be other thing, and they'll probably like introduce Storm in the movie because sharing T'Challa in the comics. Because last time I checked, the son and the child, or basically we'll see a lot of action like we did in the first one. So that's just my guess. Or he'll marry Batista. So that's just my theory.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Ryan Coogler, if he comes back, I'm sure he will, do for the sequel. And all
they'll throw all the money at him and he'll come back.
Yeah, this made over $1 billion. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, apparently they've made a rumor that Mark Hamill was going to be in Guardians 3.
Jedi crossover.
If he is in there, I will definitely see it.
That's where he teleported at the end of The Last Jedi.
He'll probably drink green milk again.
Yeah.
Did we forget Captain Marvel?
And Captain Marvel. Let's talk Captain Marvel real quick.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Brie Larson is Captain Marvel.
Yeah, between that and Ben Mendelsohn and Jude Law, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of those.
Yeah, Amari, what are your thoughts on Captain Marvel? How you're looking for it?
Well, I think it's going to be pretty good. We'll see Ronan the Accuser come back in this movie. I mixed feelings about that.
I'm not a fan of that.
And we see Agent Coulson is going to be coming back. And there's this rumor that people are saying that Captain Marvel is in the Soul Stone. Can't say for sure. Can't say for sure. Only time will tell what happens during that Captain Marvel. And also,
the movie is also supposed to be set in the 90s.
Huh.
Oh yeah, before I was even born, in 1990. So that was probably before I was even born. Yeah.
Anything going on in the chat, Cody?
Not much, but let's not talk about Avengers 4, CM guy, because Right now, we're about to talk Infinity War. I think it's time we get to that.
Yeah, I think it's time to talk Infinity War now. I got a good amount of questions to ask these guys. So let's talk about Avengers Infinity War.
Predictions.
So, predictions. Let's talk about the trailers. They've released 2 trailers, the teaser trailer and the official trailer. Let's talk about the teaser trailer. Now, that teaser trailer was freaking-credible.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about some of those moments in that that teaser trailer. Amari, take it away, man. Amari, take it right now.
Are you speechless?
He's soaking it up.
You're speechless.
I hear you, man.
No words.
My thoughts. Yeah, teaser trailer. It was actually really good. He loves how they show Thanos near the near ending. We see most and Thanos taking one of them look and the Tesseract aka I don't know which stone that is. But all in all, the trailer it was pretty good. We see Bruce falling the Sanctum in New York, and Doctor Strange and Wong.
In time, you will all know what it's like to lose.
We see Thor actually kind of shocked to see the Guardians of the Galaxy. He was like, "Who the hell?"
No, you guys.
yeah, because they finally because I didn't put 2 and 2 together until the end of the trailer that there was no Guardians in it. I was like, oh yeah, there was no Guardians in that trailer, and then they show up at the end with Thor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but now the official trailer. I mean, that official trailer. I watched it. I didn't want to leading up to the movie, but it's really good. I mean, everything in that trailer. You just basically see shit's gonna go freaking down in this
that battle in Wakanda is gonna be insane.
Yeah, the Wakanda battle. So many this is what I've been dreaming of, guys. Seeing all of these MCU heroes together in one freaking movie fighting Thanos. I mean, every freaking comic book fan has been dreaming for this.
Of course.
And it seems like
my favorite part in the new trailer, the most recent one was Star-Lord. All right, your idea. I think it's good.
I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it could be really good.
He says that to Tony Stark of
all
people.
Wow. And then he's just like, wow. But my favorite, definitely my favorite parts of the trailer were hearing Thanos talk and all that. The end is near.
As he's grabbing.
Oh my god!
As he's grabbing Thor's head, and he's like, ah!
And then we got to see Thanos really taking young Gamora, his daughter, in that. We'll get a lot of Thanos' backstory in this movie and all that. But my favorite part of the trailer is just seeing them all suited up, like seeing Black Panther, seeing Captain America with his new shield. They're all going shh, shh, and then Black Panther goes shing, and then he puts his mask on. That's my favorite part of the trailer.
That was a good part. I thought the coolest part was when they showed the scenes with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was making
Thor,
lightning. Yeah.
We get to see.
What were you saying,
Yeah,
Amari?
we get to see Thor use lightning.
Oh yeah,
we get to see Thor use lightning.
Yep.
Yeah, that was probably his weapon, Stormbreaker.
Yeah,
that was,
he has a new weapon.
Axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he has no choice but to have a
new
weapon.
Looks like yeah. And they'll be him are going to be joining the Avengers on Earth, and there's this rumor Team Groot is going to be getting an Avengers mentor. You can't say who. It's probably good. That's just my guess. AKA Nomad. We're saying it's probably going to be Thor. I don't think so, because doesn't have that.
We're going to look at the chat real quick.
Yeah, Cody, what's going on in the chat?
Not too much is going on, but CM Guy did ask about, let's talk about who's going to die. We're going to get to that. That's going to be the last thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Devin has to hang. head off. But thanks for staying, Devin.
Thanks for saying, Devin.
Goodbye.
Bye, Devin.
Anything else, Cody, or can we go to the next topic?
I'm good if you guys are ready to go to the next topic.
All right. Let's go to the next topic. So I got some questions to ask you guys here. There are 5 questions right here. First question is, how many Infinity Stones will Thanos have at the end of Infinity War, this movie? So we're going to start with Amari on this one. Amari, how many Infinity Stones will Thanos have at the end of this movie?
Oh, Ryan, this is going to be tough. I'm going to have to say probably like 3, since Vision has one right in the middle of his forehead. He's probably going to grab.
Well,
that
it
stone.
looks like they're trying
like,
to get rid of it. It looks like he's trying to pry it out of his head in the one scene.
Yeah. He already has like the Power Stone, which he got from Nova before. That he got from Loki. And I don't know about the rest of the stones. So I'm guessing 5 stones. So he'll have probably all 4.
Okay.
Tyler? And
I think he'll let
Cody.
Sorry?
And we'll do Cody after. Tyler?
I think he'll end up having probably all of them except for the Time Stone, just because there's aspects of time travel that's going to be going on in Avengers 4. So I feel like that's part of why I think he'll have it, most of them, or at least 2 out of the 3 he'll probably not have, whether it be the Time Stone or he'll still not have the Soul Stone, because we don't know who has the Soul Stone, where the Soul Stone is still. Other than that, though, obviously we'll at least get a couple of them, because he's got, Loki gives him the Tesseract and all that, so he'll have at least a couple of them, but I don't think he'll have the full gauntlet, at least until the 4th film.
All right, and Cody, what do you think?
I can't really answer this one yet. I don't think my MCU knowledge is up there yet to answer that question, but I'll answer more of them as we go on. But CM Guy thinks Thanos will have all of them.
All of them. Then the movie will be over. The world will be destroyed.
What do you think, Brian?
Me, I think he'll have 4. I think he'll have 4 by the end of this movie. I think he'll have the Tesseract. He'll have the Orb. He'll have the Mind Stone, Vision. Yeah. And I think he'll have the Ether. That's the other stone I think he'll have. So the other stones, the Soul Stone and the Time Stone, he won't have.
Well, yeah, because Doctor Strange has the
Doctor Strange has it, yeah.
So they're going to have to rip it out. Rip his
Doctor Strange's power, he can switch back in time.
Yeah.
Go back. All right, let's go to this next question.
CM Guy says Tony is going to build a time travel Omnitrix to time travel.
Interesting.
That's possible, I guess.
Yeah. All right, second question. Hawkeye and Ant-Man, where they at?
Where they at, though?
Where they at, though? Tyler?
Who cares?
All right, Amari.
I don't like Hawkeye that much. I mean, that's fine that he's not in any of the promotional material. He shoots arrows. Like, what is that really? What is that really gonna help in the Infinity War? It's like that battle, like that. If he's in that scene, in that final scene in Wakanda, he's gonna maybe shoot like 20, 30 arrows, and then he's pretty much useless for the rest of the battle.
Yeah.
There's like a sea of monsters in the scenes from that trailer. There's no way. It's like quadruple the size of the stuff he dealt with in the Avengers, and even then I still don't understand how he did anything, got anything done in the Avengers. But I mean, he's slowly trickling his way into promotional material. I don't know why all of a sudden everybody cares about Hawkeye. I mean, nobody cared about him that much for the last decade, but now everybody cares about Hawkeye because he's the one that's being not included in the promotional material. And Ant-Man, they're probably just saving Ant-Man just because his movie comes out like 2 months afterwards. I mean, it's not that big of a deal that he's not in it. Like, he's going to be fine in some regard just because he has a movie coming out. It would be kind of awkward if they killed him off or secluded him from all this stuff, and then here's his movie 2 months later.
I think Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place before this, though, Infinity War, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's what
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that it would be awkward if they have here's Ant-Man gets killed in Infinity War. Here's this story that makes no has no purpose now because he's dead.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That would be. Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. So now let's go to the next question.
But let's see. CM guy says you can't see Ant-Man because he's very small.
That's true. That's also true. Maybe he's actually secretly hiding in all of the posters and nobody's found him yet.
Maybe he's just
Yeah.
They should have made him
think
giant.
Hawkeye is
And
on
I think
vacation or
Ant-Man
training
is-
to be Ronin.
He's
probably,
hanging out with his family,
Yeah, he's probably training to be Ronin.
There you go.
but everybody
they
cares about
said-
so much now.
Yeah, because they said Hawkeye is on his own secret mission.
That no one
They didn't
cares
say
about.
where.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Arrows. That's it.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's go to the next question. The Black Order, Thanos' sidekicks. Thoughts on all 5 of them? All 4 of them. All right. We don't know much about the Black Order, but Amari.
Well, they seem like they're really loyal to him. They're willing to help him get those films. We don't know much about those stories, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure they'll go after Vision similar in the movie because in the teaser trailer we saw them go after Thanos and we saw Cap. So I think they're a ass team. They're definitely.
Okay. Tyler?
I mean, I'm not super familiar with all of them. I know more about Ebony Maw and whatchamacallit, Proxima Midnight and Cull, I think. It's Cull or Corvus. She's married to one of them. I don't know if they're going to be married in an actual movie or anything, but they're married, even though they're like both supposed to be adopted children to Thanos, which is kind of weird. But nevertheless, I think that out of the 4, Ebony Maw is the coolest. I mean, if you look at his backstory in the comics, he's pretty cool. I mean, he's kind of like he's not very loyal in a lot of aspects to Thanos, which is interesting to bring up, just because you never know if he might actually like double cross Thanos at some point in either of the films if he survives Infinity War, because you never know. But some of the stuff they show in the promotional material with him and Doctor Strange are pretty cool. It's also interesting how they haven't announced who's doing the voices for all 4 of them as well, because they've been keeping that hush hush but apparently it's supposed to be people that we would recognize their voices.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, some of them, was it Corvus, I think, has the spear that was just like jamming it. He was jamming that spear right in the Vision's face. And Proxima Midnight's pretty cool. I mean, she's pretty cool in the comics from what I've seen, because I think one time in the comics she actually defeated Thor.
CM guy said he only knows Black Dwarf.
Well, no, Black Dwarf.
Yeah, and Cull Obsidian is the huge one. I think he's the huge one in the Black Order, and I don't remember too much about him. I just know he's supposed to be the strongest of the Black Order, and I remember in the comics Ronan killed him. But I mean, obviously that can't happen now because Ronan's already dead.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I don't know any of them. I'm not a comic book guy, but seeing them in the trailers, they'll seem menacing and Thanos and all that. So I'm interested to see what they do and how menacing they'll be for sure. Especially the one guy with Doctor Strange. I mean,
that was Ebony Maw.
Ebony Maw. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next question. Infinity War box office opening weekend predictions. How much do you think Infinity War will make opening weekend? Do you think it'll surpass The Force Awakens as the highest opening, over $250 million? Let's start with Amari.
It'll probably be like over 5 million or 10 million. I don't know, because this is like going to be the movie of the year. We can forget about the rest of those other superhero movies. This Infinity War will probably make about 2 million.
No love for Aquaman.
No.
Wow.
At the end of December.
At least not now.
Deadpool.
At least not now.
And
Deadpool 2 will come out
in a couple weeks after
Ant-Man
that.
and the Wasp solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can
and
forget.
Venom and Venom.
Yeah,
Don't forget Venom.
that comes out the day
Venom,
before
yeah.
my birthday. That movie comes out the day before my birthday. Venom does.
Nice.
Venom.
But all in all, I think. Yeah, all in all, I think it might make $2 million. I'm not sure. I can't predict it.
A lot of money. A lot of money.
All of the money.
Yeah.
$2 million is my guess.
On opening weekend, Tyler, what do you think? Opening weekend, Infinity War.
I mean, personally, if this film can't beat The Force Awakens at the box office, I don't think anybody could, or any movie could, because I mean, this is like the hugest superhero film of all time, like no doubt. So it's like, if the biggest superhero film of all time can't beat The Force Awakens box office, then nothing's going to.
Yeah. So for me, I think opening weekend, Avengers Infinity War will get really close to topping Force Awakens opening weekend. I'm going to predict that it will. I think it's just going to beat it out. 252 million opening weekend for Infinity
Just a little
War.
bit. Just a little bit higher.
Just a little bit higher. 252 million opening weekend for Infinity War. Because let's face it.
I'm on the opposite end of that. I'm going 240, 245.
240, 245?
I think it's just going to miss it.
Well, let's face it, Infinity War opening weekend, it's competing against nothing. And The Force Awakens also competed against nothing.
Well, everybody moved their movies because of the Infinity War.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, hell
so maybe it will. You know what?
I think it's easily going to cross 200 mil. I think it's just going to beat out Force Awakens opening weekend.
Oh, you never know. Maybe that Amy Schumer film will really steal the box office draw from everybody.
Look out.
That Amy Schumer film is going to be the sleeper, the sleeper hit.
Yeah. Worldwide, I think it'll definitely cross. It'll get to that 2 billion mark, but will it surpass Avatar? No. Will it surpass Titanic? No.
James Cameron.
It could compete against Force Awakens for box office, but I think worldwide by the end of the year it'll surpass 2 billion.
Yeah, I could easily see that.
And we'll definitely see if the movie's great or not.
Yeah.
CM guy is going 300 million, no question. All right.
300 million, jeez.
Nice.
What if we're completely wrong and it is 300 million?
You never know. We'll find out.
You never know.
Yeah.
Is this the money question we've been waiting for, though?
Yes, this is the money question, gentlemen. Now let's talk about the deaths predictions.
Yeah.
So
Lovely.
we're going to list off some characters that we think are definitely going to die in Infinity War. Starting with Tyler. Tyler,
Am I going to die in Infinity War? I hope not.
Tyler, who do you have dying in Infinity War?
I mean, that's a tough one. But I mean, if I had to think real quick, I mean, I definitely am very highly, if I had to, at the very top of my list, definitely probably like Captain America. I definitely think Captain America. I definitely think Captain America is going to die, or he's the one of the more likely ones to die. And Vision, they can always kill off Vision. Say, Vision and Captain America. Maybe they can actually just get rid of War Machine too while they're at it.
Okay.
So those are like your top three?
So those are like your top three?
Probably.
Okay. Amari, who do you have dying?
Definitely Captain America, like Tyler said. And also Nebula. Nebula is definitely...
That's true. Nebula's one
Yeah.
too.
Nebula.
Yeah. And also probably War Machine. And then we're gonna die. Drax, for sure. Drax is gonna die.
Drax, really?
Yeah.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, because Thanos murdered his family. He's probably gonna do some
Do you
reckless.
think Drax will
maybe he'll sacrifice himself.
Try to...
go after him.
Yeah, he'll probably sacrifice himself for his team.
Well, they said
And
James Gunn said that the Guardians won't be the same after this. Like the team won't be the same in the third Guardians film. So at least probably one or two of them have to die.
Interesting.
Yeah, probably Gamora.
Even though Nebula, I don't think Nebula really counts as a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yeah, she hasn't really been a hero.
No,
she's kind of just rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other ones, Amari?
So it sounds like you have Captain America, you have Drax, and you have
War Machine.
Nebula.
Okay.
They said both, yeah.
Okay.
They're all plausible.
I got a lot of people. I got Cap dying.
Got everybody dying.
I got Cap dying. I got Iron Man dying. I got Thor dying. I got Loki dying.
No.
That's true. I could see Loki dying too.
And I got Vision dying.
Yeah.
Definitely see that happening. And one of the Guardians for sure. Gamora probably.
Yeah, Gamora or Nebula.
Gamora and Nebula, one of Thanos' daughters.
Yeah.
Maybe Nebula. I don't know. Definitely not Spider-Man. Spider-Man's not dying.
Yeah, that's like a 0% chance.
Black Panther's not dying.
0% chance.
Patrick said Rocket with a question mark.
Rocket? No, I don't think Rocket's gonna die.
I don't think that would be very impactful.
Could Bucky die? I don't know. Probably not. Wakanda? Any Wakandans dying? Wakabi's definitely dying after what he did.
Maybe one of the lesser known ones, not like M'Baku or T'Challa or any of them.
What if M'Baku died? Oh god.
The internet would rage.
I don't think I'm forgetting anyone. I don't know. But yeah, those are my major people I have dying.
Okay. Yeah. I could see all of these are pretty plausible.
All right, so now we've talked about the death predictions. So,
thanks, Ryan.
But sorry, Cody. But any other things in the chat before we wrap this live stream up?
No, I honestly don't. I think
Cody, who are your death predictions? My bad.
I think Cap for sure. I think the thing is, I think someone from each of the groups is going to die.
I think it's funny that all of our first ones when we were asked was Captain America.
Yeah,
he's the highest.
Wrong though,
because it's completely
wrong.
But Chris Evans
said he's done.
After 4. Yeah,
that is true.
He could be in a flashback in 4, and that could be it.
I think I'm going to agree with Ryan and say Thor. Unfortunately, sorry, Amari.
Yeah,
I think so.
He's gonna get owned.
I think one of the Guardians.
Why
too,
Thor? What do y'all have against Thor? Why Thor?
He goes.
Yeah, he just crushes his head like a melon.
And I'm gonna end it off with one of the Guardians, like Nebula or Gamora, one of the two for sure.
Yeah, either one of them, or both.
Yeah. All right, that's my death predictions.
There's probably got a lot of people that are gonna die in this movie.
Hulk, I don't think so. Someone said in the chat.
Hulk's not gonna die. Cody, what is the chat looking like?
Patrick said, "Damn, no love for Cap, huh?" No.
I love Chris Evans.
I love Cap. He said he's done after 4.
Yeah, I mean they gotta send him off. I mean they got 2 possible replacements as Captain America in the MCU anyways.
Yeah, Bucky or Falcon becomes Cap after he dies in the comics.
Yeah, because the Winter Soldier becomes him after he dies in Civil War, as in last couple years anyways, the Falcon was Captain America, so they could go either way.
Yeah. Is that it, Cody?
That is it.
All right, woo! That was a long ass stream.
It's because it's a lot of MCU stuff.
A lot of movies. Let's see. How long was this freaking stream? Like
at least 3 hours or so.
At least 3.
3 hours. Sure. 3-hour live stream. It was a long live stream, but thank you guys for staying along. If you have stayed along for this whole stream, we appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Even if you're
your commitment. Your commitment. You are the commitment, guys.
Yeah, the commitment to the MCU.
Thank you, Tyler, and thank you, Amari, for sticking out and coming on board for this MCU live stream. talking MCU, Infinity War, all that shenanigans. Before we wrap this up, Tyler, let's start with you. Tell my subscribers where we can find you on your social media, man.
Well, starting with Twitter, it's pretty simple. It's just Tyler_Calvert23. And that's Twitter. And then my Instagram is TylerCalvert23 with no underscore. So I'm very simple with my usernames because I'm not very creative.
Yeah. Anna Mari, where can we find you on your social media?
Well, you can find me here on YouTube, just my first and last name, Amari Point, on the Stardust staff at Amari106, and you can follow me on my Twitter, and I'll likely follow you back, especially if you're on all those on my social media channel.
And Cody, where can we find you on your social media?
Yeah,
you guys can find me behind the camera. All right.
Yeah, people, you don't want to give it away so that more people can bug you about not watching Star Wars.
Exactly. I've already gotten too much of it.
All right, that's gonna do it.
Focused on the MCU right now.
Yeah, we'll deal with Star Wars another time.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning into this live stream. And if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to Tyler and Amari. Go to their channels. Their links are in the description box down below. And as always, guys, all my social media links are in the description down below. Click that notification bell on your way out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Bye, CM Guy. Bye, Patrick. Thank you
Bye, guys. Bye, Patrick. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
It's been real.
It's been real, guys. Peace!